out the SEC championship. He can also play in pick and roll sets. They've got Nick Pringle, who's been a proven winner, been to a Final Four with Alabama and won 2 SEC tournament championships with Alabama and Arkansas, respectively. So he brings a winning mentality down low to pair with those guards. But this is a deep team. Billy Richmond III is now a legitimate two-way player who's, I think, played his way into some first-round draft consideration. And Malik Thomas, well, the most untalked about freshman that you may have, who's been really consistent throughout the course of this season. So Arkansas is loaded, and I don't know if people have talked about them enough throughout the course of the year, but you're going to see what they're made about tonight against an Arizona team that's really complete and a strong team.
Is it still a thing? Because I know Arkansas's bench is not as deep as others. They don't play as many players as some. Is it still a thing in the NCAA tournament that maybe the commercial breaks are a little longer, that the game is played a little bit more fragmented? You got a little bit more time to rest in a regular season game?
A little bit. But teams of this nature have been playing in big time games that have been on national television all season long. So they have these experiences. However, the rest is not going to matter. You have your bench, but you're probably not going to go as deep into it. So I'm not too concerned about depth when it talks about it, because this is a winner go home situation. And what you're asking for your team is for every single player on the roster to be dialed in through the duration of the game. May it be if we check you in for 2 minutes, you have to have 2 really good productive minutes that keep the game at bay or even increase the lead. So it's not a moment that you're really concerned about fatigue. You're not worried about depth. Your 5, 6, 7 players that are out there playing significant minutes, they have to be ready to go the entire game because it's win or go home.
Richard Hendricks is with us a few more moments. Alabama shoot around this morning at the United Center. Man, they beat Illinois on this floor earlier this year. Benefit that you played there once already?
Totally. You have that comfort, the familiarity. You've had success and a win on that court. And you did it against a really good team that's still in the Sweet 16 with Illinois. So if you're Alabama, you try to draw some comfort from that. You try to grab a little bit of a psychological advantage when it comes to your personal production to hope that you can go out and redo what you did in the previous time when you stepped on that court. And albeit this will be a different opponent. And Michigan's really good. This is a top team when you talk about what they're able to do defensively, second chance points onto the boards, defensive rebounding, which shows that they're able to finish off possessions, and they have multiple players that can able to impose their will when it comes to their physicality. So this will be a top-notch challenge for Alabama. But if you can draw anything from that previous win, if it's knocking down shots, that's what the Tide is going to have to do from the outside and hopefully play from in front.
Probably their best performance when they slaughtered Texas Tech, and maybe their best defensive performance of the year as well. Are they better defensively with Latrell Wrightsell getting more minutes?
Well, he is a player that does bring it to the defensive tenacity more than maybe others on this roster. He's a proven senior. He has a nice physique, which allows him to have a nice physical engagement when it comes at the point of attack, when you're fighting over screens, on ball screens, as well as pin downs away from the screen, which really can allow them to not have to have your defense to be stretched out too much. So he's playing really good basketball at the right time of year and shooting it well. The 6 threes in the last game against Texas Tech.
Next Round hoodies and Next Round hats are all in one place. NextRound.store. Find your favorite piece of gear from your favorite show and put it in your rotation. You never know. You might be in one of our videos showing Next Round gear being worn all over the world. Find all your favorite Next Round gear by visiting NextRound.store. Place an order for you and that big Next Round fan in your life at NextRound.store. Look your best at work, at school, at the stadium, or anywhere you go wearing Next Round gear from NextRound.store.
When you crave activity like we do, you belong in the Roback family. Get the best golf wear, hoodies, and activewear for men and women at Roback.com. Use promo code TNR20 to get 20% off your order. That's Roback.com, promo code TNR20.
I'm attorney Alexander Shinar, Alabama born, Alabama raised, and ready to fight for your rights. I have one of the largest firms in Alabama, and we are here to help you get the compensation you deserve. Call me, Alabama, 323-1000.
Your representation is made that the quality of legal services to be performed is greater than those of other lawyers.
Jim Dunaway, Lance Taylor, Ryan Brown, Live from the Birmingham Racecourse Casino Studios, the next round, presented by Bud Light, is on now.
Brownie's back. LT will be back with us on Monday. We'll be all together next week. Jim Dunaway, Ryan Brown. Behind the glass, Forrester off a little spring break today. Got Brooks running the audio and Tyler back on the video. A lot to get to. Breaking news with Aden Holloway. Alabama plays tonight. Nate Oats being straightforward. Basketball results more today. Braves start baseball. Spring football going on. We'll jam it all into a couple hours live with you today on the Next Round platform. Thanks for being with us today. Let's go first, though, personality-wise, our bracket challenge.
All right. We're going to start with that.
We'll just squeeze that in.
Okay, because it was a big night for me last night, I believe.
You believe. Okay.
Yes.
So the latest in the bracket challenge is your Arizona team still alive to win the national championship. They look so good. I remember sitting over in my chair after seeing Arizona play in person and saying, Arizona and Michigan, remind me when I get to my bracket challenge, fill out my bracket. It's going to be Arizona, Michigan for me. Arizona, Michigan,
That's right.
Arizona, Michigan.
Yep.
Ends up, I take Duke. I can't explain it. I also told you Houston.
All year long.
The weakest Houston team of all time.
I've been wanting to ask you this. I've not seen you because of our vacation since you turned your bracket in.
Yeah.
But anytime the first time I brought Houston up was when Auburn played them. And I said, another Houston team, Auburn just lost to them. That team will be competing for a 1 seed.
Ooh, worst Houston team in the last few years.
This is your reaction right here.
Yeah.
No. All season long, when Houston comes up, no.
I threw my bracket together quickly.
Yes. It went with a team that you've dogged all year.
On my way out of town, and just couldn't find myself with Illinois in the Final Four like you. Great pick by you. I know Lance didn't like it.
To say the least.
Tyler,
Lance's reaction to that was good luck.
If you have the standings, please throw them up, please. Yeah. Thank you, man. Ryan's in the lead. I've now tied Lance. Look at that. You feel comfortable. There's only one game that separates us.
I know. Yeah. I just like being in the lead, though. It just gives me, for one moment, I'm like, okay, maybe I'm safe in this thing. Maybe I don't have to make a complete fool out of myself this year.
You become safe when Duke loses to St. John's tonight.
Oh, well, I mean, I would like to see that happen.
Yeah.
I have completely botched that portion of the bracket anyway, I believe. I like my place right here. I don't hate my place.
Remember, you're getting punished as a second place person too this year.
I'm well aware, but I'm in first right now. Okay. I like my spot there. Now the back room
with the most points remaining too, Ryan.
Oh, I'm aware, Brooks. I'm looking at that.
It all rides on Arizona.
I don't know if you watched them last night, but I'm comfortable in that position.
Me too. And that's why I hate myself, because I should have said Arizona all along too. I said that back before even Charles Barkley said Arizona. And I don't know why I picked Duke. I don't know why.
Well, Illinois.
I assume it has something to do with love and the person that sleeps in my bed next to me.
Oh, yeah. Your money and your affection go to Duke. Yeah. I tell you, man, if I had not, and listen, anybody can do this with their bracket, but had I not bought into UCLA, and if I'd have just gone with the chalk there in UConn, I don't think you guys could catch me. But, I didn't do that.
Who'd you buy into? UCLA?
UCLA. I had them upsetting UConn.
I did the exact same thing. Yeah. I think we both had them in the Elite Eight.
Yeah.
You must have watched the same TikToks I watched.
I hope you guys are enjoying your bracket as well as you do that. And, of course, with our friends at Kalshi, hopefully some of you are still alive to maybe get that $1 million. I don't think anybody's in the running for the $1 billion anymore.
I think we'd have heard by now.
I think High Point maybe kicked some of people out. But hopefully some of our listeners, promo code TNR, are still in the hunt for the $1 million payout. Promo code TNR, go to our friends at Kalshi, Brownie, and jump in there and enjoy a great fun. I'm taking all my positions tonight are on St. John. I'm putting all my money on St. John. I'm either going to win money with Kalshi or I'm going to stay alive in the bracket challenge. One of those two things are happening tonight.
Kalshi.com is where you go, and you download the Kalshi app. Now, there's a lot to tell you about with Kalshi right now, because Major League Baseball has started, so you can play Major League Baseball, take positions there on the Braves opening day. You can play that game right now, Kalshi.com. And one thing that you should note is everything is adjustable, like the spreads that you see, the run lines, things like that. That's all adjustable right there at Kalshi.
Early cash out's the best.
Yeah, early cash outs. You don't have to sit on a position. You can eat a loss. You can cash out early for a gain. right there at Calci. Right now, Arizona 28% to win the national championship. You think that's safe?
Yeah,
28%. Only 28%. Alabama.
They'd make the playoffs in the Eastern Conference of the NBA, I think.
Alabama and Michigan. Michigan's at 80%. Alabama's at 20%. You're like, well, I need point spreads. Right now at Calci, played at 10.5. Michigan favored 10.5. That differs in other spots.
Let's go, Bama.
Code TNR when you download that Calci app, as we recommend you do, and that gets you $10 on your first $10 position, and it helps us a ton when you use code TNR at Calci.
Hey, and while we're doing all of this stuff as well, Shannara Showdown every day. Yesterday, you can make a play on Arizona and Arkansas blowout.
Hope you took Arizona.
Hopefully, somebody there got that one right. A lot of you got that one right and are a winner. Brooks, what is our Shannara Showdown today, buddy?
Iowa State and Tennessee.
Tennessee and Iowa State.
3.5 point spread.
Ooh, sneaky 3.5 points.
That's a tricky little game right there, and probably going to be critical for the Southeastern Conference. There's a chance all the hopes are right on the Vols right there.
Wow, Brown giving no chance to Alabama in the early window, and banking on Tennessee late.
And while we're at it, I already have tomorrow's isn't up, but I've already picked the game just since it's a Friday show. Purdue Arizona is tomorrow. Tomorrow's game.
So as soon as Tennessee and Iowa State tip, we'll get transferred over to that other one. Shannara Showdown, play that right there. NextRoundLive.com, NextRoundLive.com with our friends from Alexander Shannara. We're paying 4 places. Any game you get right, you're in the drawing, okay?
Love that.
Any game you get right, you're in the drawing. It's not like a bracket where you got one bad day and you're done. And the more games you get right, the more you're in the drawing. And we're going to pay 4 places. So the overall winner is going to have a choice of a $1,000 Amex gift card or a bottle of Pappy straight from Alex's collection. Alexander goes to his Pappy collection, which, by the way, is one of the top in the world, picks a bottle, and you can take a bottle of Pappy or $1,000, and we'll pass it down from there. $500 and $250 also on the line. Play it at NextRoundLive.com, NextRoundLive.com. Our guy, Alexander Shannara, being generous with his Pappy and his money and helping you win. Shannara.com. If you have any legal issues as well, Shannara.com. You don't pay a dime unless they win your case with our guy, Alexander Shannara.
All right, to the news headlines first involving Alabama basketball, and then we'll eventually talk about the game tonight. Matt Stahl, AL.com, who was on the show yesterday, following the court proceedings today. Aden Holloway, remember him back when he was the second leading scorer of Alabama basketball?
Yeah.
Aden Holloway has been cleared to travel out of state, AL.com has learned. According to court documents obtained by AL.com, Holloway has been received permission to leave the state of Alabama as part of his bail bond. You cannot leave the state when you bond out of custody, and he has been cleared to do that. Now, he is listed as out in the availability report that was on Friday, and they frown on you. Surprising. I don't expect him to be in the mix tonight.
I wouldn't either, and I don't even know. I mean, I don't know that he's been reinstated to the team or reinstated to school. This would only be a step in one of the many steps he'd have to take in the right direction. So unless there's, some sort of 11th hour clemency from the governor, figurative, the K-Ivy literally, I don't think could do this. That was a figurative phrase there. I don't know that he could even be available if Alabama is so fortunate to advance to the Elite Eight on Sunday. I would think best case would be maybe he returns for the Final Four if Alabama is fortunate enough to even do that. And that's a long way down the road. This is something we talked about with Tommy Spina right after this happened. And Tommy told us, he was the first one to alert me of this, was like, here's an issue for him, is he can't leave the state unless he is granted the right to do so. But Tommy did tell me, he's like, in college towns, generally they're very lenient with that because a kid makes a mistake, gets arrested. He wants to go home to, Ohio for Thanksgiving. They're not going to, and as Tommy pointed out, Aden Holloway's the opposite of a flight risk.
That's right.
Every move he makes is going to be on TV up there. So, I mean, this would be a step in the right direction, but there's still several steps to go, but this is one of them.
Yeah, so that's a backdrop, but no one's expecting Holloway to play tonight. He's out on the availability report from yesterday. We'll see if that changes. Matt Stahl, Nick Kelly, some of the folks that are on the front lines reporting that story, both of them guests this week on the next round, and you can get their stuff at AL.com and follow them there on social media. The other big story away from on-the-court stuff this week has been the North Carolina basketball opening. And I tell you, you got to love Nate Oats, the way he handles this stuff. He is as big of an open book, as honest as anybody I've ever seen do this. Yesterday, Nate Oats gets asked point blank about the North Carolina job being open and his name being in the mix, mentioned on hot boards as the possibility of being the next coach at North Carolina. Here's how Nate answered the question.
With the Carolina job opening and others potentially down the line, your name gets brought up. Do you have any kind of comment or reaction to that?
Yeah, I mean, it's not the first time. And look, a lot of respect to the other programs that may open, and they've got great basketball tradition. And, you know, as a young high school coach, maybe, shoot, I didn't think I'd ever be in this spot, to be honest with you, that long ago. So if you've gotten to know me, I'm not a guy that's trying to always jump around. Like, the grass is not always greener. I love Alabama. My girls love Alabama. They're here with me. I love working with the administration that I work with. I think Greg Burns, best AD in the country. I love working with him. It'd be great if I was able to work with them the rest of my career. They're doing everything they can to make sure that we've got a competitive program. And as long as we're able to compete to win championships here, SEC, national championships. We haven't done that here yet. I'd love to be the coach to bring us our first national championship. We got to a Final Four. So to me, there's absolutely no reason to leave here. And while it's flattering that a high school guy that caught a couple breaks would be mentioned with some of these jobs because they've got a lot of tradition, I'm not a guy that's looking to get out of here anytime soon. I love it here. My girls love it here. I love working with the people at Alabama. So, yeah. Names are going to get mentioned. I'm probably one of 10 or 12. Like, it is what it is. That's the business. But I haven't talked to anybody, nor do I plan on talking to anybody.
Yeah, Nate Oats, man, I love that honesty. Brown, later on, he got a follow-up question about, the last time when the Kentucky job was open, Greg Byrne had worked out a deal with you even before you got to the NCAA tournament in the Final Four, something we've talked about a lot. And he said, listen. And he talked about this. He laid out how much money he made over a 5-year period at 2 different high schools when he was a high school coach. He goes, you total all that together is $50,000. He goes, I don't know if you guys know this, but the last contract Greg did for me, every March 15th, I get a $500,000 raise. He goes, a few years ago, I coached 5 years for $50,000. I just got a $500,000 raise on March the 15th. He goes, I'm making more money than I ever thought I was going to make. And he goes, they may be working on another contract. They may be tossing some numbers around. He goes, but I'm making more money than I ever thought I would make. And he almost was like, I'm not in this for the money anymore.
Well, I never thought that this would be a money play for him. Like, if he ever took a Kentucky or a North Carolina, that it's a money play. It's about going to a place like, you never know what drives these coaches. Like, some guys just love to coach and they don't really care where it is. As long as they've got resources and the ability to win, they're fine with it. You never know if these coaches were always like, God, one day I want to be a North Carolina or a Duke or a Kentucky, one of those blue blood jobs where it means the world to their fan base and every game's a sellout. And we go on the road to the NCAA tournament and the entire arena is our color. I mean, some guys are driven by that, and it's hard to blame them. And you look at that and you're like, well, there's nothing I can do to fix that. Like, I can give you all the money I can gather up, but if it's about that, I'm not keeping you.
That's right.
Now, whether he turned Kentucky down or not after the Final Four run, one thing he didn't do is let that thing breathe long enough to get the Kentucky. Now maybe he reached out to Kentucky and they're like, no, we're not interested. I don't know. I don't know how all that played out.
My sourcing was the other way around.
I know.
Kentucky, he was
I've heard the same.
He was number one.
I've heard the same.
Top of their list.
I've heard the same. And as you pointed out, or as he pointed out later on, and they'd already done the deal, he goes back and he gets some other things, a little more staff pool, a little more NIL push. He was
new basketball facility.
New basketball facility.
That's
summer. Right. I mean, the one thing for Alabama that is always out there is the arena, and I don't know that there's an easy answer to that. Greg Byrne would have built it yesterday if he had the money.
Yeah, Nate Oats doesn't care about it. He wanted the basketball facility.
Yeah, I mean, when he used
state of the art,
when he used Kentucky for leverage, that's what he got, was a basketball facility. Not like Now, I don't think he had enough leverage to get an arena. That's a lot of leverage if you do. With all that being said, like, if in fact, he turned Kentucky down, if that's true, and if he's not even going to let this breathe for North Carolina, if he's going to go ahead and do stuff like this, or if they announce an extension tomorrow or today or whatever, I mean, where are you going to lose him?
Tom Hart painted the maybe hardest scenario for him to turn down the other day here on the show. If Dusty May takes, now I don't know why you would leave Michigan, but if he was interested in being the North Carolina head coach and the Michigan job opened up, or Izzo retires and the Michigan State job
those are the
up,
two that I think you would worry about.
Because apparently Nate Oats is now a growing cult legend in the state of Michigan because of him being a high school coach that has turned into such a great college coach.
Well, I think Romulus is a fairly well-known school up there, a large school. And how often are you watching an Alabama game when Romulus gets mentioned? So I'm sure, they kind of take that as as some pride there. But, I mean, if North Carolina and Kentucky aren't going to turn his head, they're not – I mean, it would take going home to do it. But I will say this about Nate. And we've known Nate Oats a long time. I would not even be able to count how many interviews we've done with the guy. And one thing that always jumps out in those interviews is the guy really doesn't have a filter.
He does not.
And it happens in the press conferences, too. How often have we played a soundbite of him talking about an upcoming game, and you're like, boy, I don't know if I'd have said that, Nate, but he doesn't have a filter. He says what's on his mind. He's about as honest as probably the most honest coach I've ever interviewed. And when he answers a question like that, I'm not saying coaches haven't said that and then gone and taken other jobs.
See Will Wade, yes.
Yeah. But I think Nate is a pretty open book, pretty honest guy when it comes to stuff like that. And I think if you're an Alabama fan, that was a very long answer that wasn't just a blown-off question to, that was a very long, well-thought-out answer. And he knew he was going to be asked about it, so he had time to think. The other thing that jumps out at me, one more thing that jumps out at me from that answer, the relationship with Greg Byrne. And I'm sure Greg loved hearing that.
Yep.
Because there were two ifs in that, or two as long as's, if you will, in that answer. As long as Greg Byrne is still the athletic director, I'm happy here. And that's not to say if Greg left that he would leave. And as long as I got all the resources. Those were basically the two things he mentioned, is I love working for Greg Byrne. I'd like for that to be permanent. And as long as I've got the resources, we can win a national championship here. You can control those two things. Those are controllables. That's good news if you're an Alabama fan and you're like, I want Nate Oats to be the coach there for life. And I don't know why you wouldn't if you're an Alabama fan. Those are controllables.
Yeah, absolutely. To the game on the field, a little bulletin board motivation for Michigan that the Michigan head coach sort of nipped in the bud yesterday. We'll get to that after I remind you the show today being brought to you by our friends at Crane U. Get the Crane training you need today. If you're looking for a new career or need further training to advance your current one, our friends at Crane U offer comprehensive, state-of-the-art, fully stocked training facilities for mobile cranes, overhead lifts, or forklift training. And if you want to use your own equipment, no problem at all. Crane U will come to you. On-site, on-location training offered nationwide. Make your job easier, make your job site safer with our friends at Crane U. They also offer certification, safety inspections to ensure the safest environment possible. Call our friends at Crane U, 855-CRANE-U. That's 855-CRANE-U, or you can visit them online at craneu.com. Don't forget, you get 10% off. 10% off when you mention the next round, craneu.com. Yaxel Lendeborg, big player in tonight's game, Alabama and Michigan. Game happens at 6:35 on TBS. Massive player, future NBA star, played at UAB for a couple of years. Yaxel Lendeborg has everyone around him tells you he's got this little thing inside of him. He tries to find a little motivation for every opponent. His motivation for playing Alabama is about when he was leaving UAB and being recruited, he felt like maybe Alabama didn't recruit him at all. Here's Yax.
I guess as a former UAB Blazer, do you feel like anything differently playing against Alabama?
Once I entered the transfer portal out of UAB, I was hoping.
What's so funny?
I was hoping to get recruited by Alabama, and when I didn't, it kind of kind of hurt me a little bit. Not in a way where I can say like I hate them and all that. It's just it bothered me a little bit. But I was very proud of the moments that I had in Birmingham. I definitely learned to be more aggressive, get out of my shell a lot more, and then in situations where like I feel like I need to step up in a way, I'm not afraid of those moments anymore, and that definitely happened because of how much pressure Coach Kennedy put on me and how much he wanted me to be an aggressive scorer. So those two things really helped me out. But I'm super excited to play Alabama, and just pretty much like a second home, I guess you can say.
It's hard to even take that serious, to be honest with you. I like Yax, and this kid's going to be tremendous, and I appreciate the fact that he still likes Andy and Birmingham and all that. But why would Alabama have even tried? I think everybody knew the price. Alabama doesn't have that kind of NIL money.
Nate said, he was asked about it later on. It was after Yax had said his comments, and Nate said, look, we knew Yax, what he was doing, so we inquired, and we didn't go down that road very far because we knew other people were recruiting him, and we knew what the price was going to be, and we just were not going to get into that bidding war. In fact, here's Dusty May after Yax letting Yax know that he and Nate Oats actually talked during the recruitment of Yaxel Lendeborg.
Yaxel just told us that he was disappointed that Alabama didn't recruit him out of UAB. He said he might have some extra juice in this game. Is that a good thing, or can players get a little bit too high, too motivated? How do you channel that if he's going to have some extra juice?
I think we've had several subplots this year, and he seems to be performing well up to this point. So whatever irritates him, I'm gonna ride with that and support him. Nate and I, being friends, we talked through that process, and don't tell Yax, but they did try to recruit him.
He was at UAB. We did make a call, never got very deep. I think there were some programs that were in a little deeper with a lot more money at the time. So it's one of those you kind of call, see where the situation's at. Probably wasn't something we were going to be able to do, so didn't spend a lot of time on it. So I knew Michigan had been involved pretty heavily early, and I had made a call to Dusty. We've ended up recruiting the same guys a few different times. He's pretty open and honest with me. I'm pretty open and honest with him. And it didn't we didn't go very far. It wasn't for the lack of thinking he wasn't a very good player. We knew he's the best player in the portal.
Okay, so let me role play for you and show you how that call went. We would love Yax to play for us. What do you think that's going to take?
Well, even if you match that offer, you're able to call Dusty, right? Dusty, hey, if we go, we're hearing it's $2 million. If we go 2-1, Dusty's like, if you go 2-1, we're going 3.
All right, I'll go.
Dusty's saying, hey, we're gonna get him. We're gonna get him. That's how that. That's how that went.
Yeah,
they're good enough friends like Nate.
Yeah, Nate, you ain't got a chance.
Yeah, we're gonna. My guys. I've circled Yax. My guys, we're gonna get Yax.
Yeah. Now, I will say,
you're only going to drive the price up for me.
Yeah.
That's what Dusty told Nate. Listen, you're only going to drive the price up for me if you get in this.
I will say, when you are, when you're a wanted coach and you're looking at future opportunities, and back to what Tom Hart said about Michigan, I wonder if those things do kind of stick with you. Like, I couldn't even get in that game. And I'm not saying he's unhappy with Alabama or anything like that, but he knew he couldn't get in that game. You heard his answer, whether it's Michigan or not. He's like, yeah, we inquired. There were some schools that spent a lot more money than that. Would Nate Oats love to have a budget where he could go out and get – could you imagine Yaxel Lendeborg and Nate Oats' system?
Yeah, absolutely. Or Jaden Bradley, who that's pretty good at Arizona.
Pretty good at Arizona, yeah.
It's been there a long time after he left Alabama.
Yeah, so, that's one of those where – when you talk about certain programs have the resources, and look, the funny thing about the whole Mark Pope thing, when he was asked about Yax's comments, Mark Pope, we got all these people that are called reporters, and they're in a basement on their mom's computer and all that. He went in that long answer. Yax told that to the Associated Press. Yax was the source. The Associated Press was the reporter. This was not some way off the record thing that Yax literally said it, that Kentucky was offering him $10 million.
Yeah, 7-9 is it?
Yeah, 7-9. I mean, I would say Alabama's entire NIL effort in basketball is 7-9, if that.
Yeah, 7-9 is a good number, I think. Yeah.
Entire team.
Yeah.
Much less one guy.
And they're putting that together pretty good.
Yeah.
So tonight on the floor, it's Alabama and Michigan. Brian Passink will join the show coming up in the final hour at 11 Central, hour 3, if you're getting us on the replay or listening to us on Apple or Spotify. And we'll talk about what goes on the floor for Alabama to have a chance to win the game. If I just say Alabama is better defensively with Aden Holloway out and Wrightsell getting more minutes.
Probably, but I mean, so here's the balance, and Nate Oats, obviously, you see where he goes with this balance, is how many points does Wrightsell save me versus how many points does Holloway give me, right?
Yeah. Wrightsell and Millett combined for 39 against Texas Tech. That's a good number.
If you get that out of them, you don't miss Holloway one bit. Now, can you get that out of them on a consistent basis? That's why Holloway's the starter, because the answer has been no.
Yeah.
That they don't add enough offensively consistently to make up for, the defensive effort that they give.
Yeah. So we'll talk to Passink about what has to happen, and we'll talk to Fuhrman starting hour 2, 10 Central if you're live with us. Hour 2 on the replay with Apple and Spotify at Next Round Live everywhere on the social media platforms. Fuhrman will tell us all the big plays in Vegas. If you followed the random guy I met in the sports book, Chooch, the 3-team parlay he gave us, I think it was the first half under in the Iowa-Nebraska game.
Way higher scoring than I imagined that game would be.
He said 63. I think he hit the Purdue money line in the over Arkansas-Arizona pretty easily.
Yeah.
It was the first half under of Iowa-Nebraska. If he'd gone second half under, probably was a winner. But
or if he had gone Houston under.
Yeah, Houston. We'll talk about the games we saw last night and what I thought was some horrible officiating that cost one SEC team a chance to advance. All that coming up on the show that's being brought to you by a couple of our great sponsors. One of them is our friends at Hoover Toyota. Man, if you've got an opportunity right now, and if you're looking for a new or used car, our friends at Hoover Toyota are there for you right there in Hoover, Alabama, also serving Birmingham, Alabaster, and Vestavia. New and used car financing, auto service, and genuine Toyota parts right there. They have been taking the car industry to a new level. The art of customer service, unheard of at Hoover Toyota. They are the best in the business, and their inventory offers fantastic selection, on-site finance department. They give you affordable financing options. And even after you get your car off the lot, they are there with you with the best service and parts department. Unbelievable service right there at hoovertoyota.com, hoovertoyota.com, where they believe that they can do it better than anybody else. And they're there to help you out. So check out the inventory, check out the pricing, and tell them you heard about it here on the Next Round. It's all right there with our friends at Hoover Toyota, hoovertoyota.com.
And if you need a bank that actually gets you and understands you and knows you and lives and works in your community, it is Central State Bank. More than accounts and transactions, they are about people. 6 locations across Central Alabama, counties like Shelby County, places like Alexander City. They are right where you need them to be. Whether you're running a business, buying your dream car, or you just want a bank that remembers your name, they got you covered. Rooted in community, driven by relationships. Central State Bank, member FDIC.
Follow Brownie on Twitter and Instagram at Ryan Brown Live.
I'm attorney Alexander Shinar, Alabama born, Alabama raised, and ready to fight for your rights. I have one of the largest firms in Alabama, and we are here to help you get the compensation you deserve. Call me, Alabama, 323-1000.
No representation is made that the quality of legal services being performed is greater than those of other lawyers.
To everyone who craves a fresh meal made just for you, let our team member Jacob share what's special about Culver's.
In Wisconsin, our food comes from the heart, and taking the time to handcraft your meal with care is how we've always done it at Culver's. It's why your Butterburger doesn't touch the grill until after you order.
Come to Culver's and let us serve you a Butterburger, made special just for you. From Wisconsin with love, welcome to Delicious.
At Central State Bank, we are large enough to serve you and small enough to know you. Manage your money with ease, whether it's mobile banking, hassle-free checking, competitive loans, business solutions, or personalized financial advice. We're your hometown bank with big-time service. Visit us today and experience banking made simple, because at Central State Bank, you come first.
Member FDIC.
Birmingham's fastest party returns to Barber Motorsports Park March 27th through 29th. Medical Properties Trust presents the Children's of Alabama Indy Grand Prix, powered by AmFirst Experience. 3 days of high-speed action, featuring the fastest drivers in the world from the IndyCar Series. Enjoy the Kids Zone, food trucks, beer garden, fan zone, and more. The Children's of Alabama Indy Grand Prix. Kids 15 and under get in free. Get your tickets now.
Catch up on all of today's Next Round on demand through the podcast platform of your choice. Apple, Spotify, iHeart, or Google Podcasts. Wherever you listen, always like, follow, subscribe, and turn on automatic downloads so you never miss any part of the Next Round.
Hey, there's nothing worse than waking up to a plumbing problem. Don't get caught in a flooded house. Call the guys at Hemphill Services. Adam, Chad, and the team at Hemphill are the only ones I trust to fix it and fix it right the first time. Hemphill Services does it right and always at a fair price. For all of your plumbing, cooling, and heating needs, trust the name that Birmingham has trusted since 1954. That is Hemphill Services. Call now, 205-229-2090.
Let me tell you about our
That's
friends at Urology
205-229-2090.
Centers of Alabama. Compassionate and comprehensive urological care with 35 physicians, 17 locations across Alabama. Their patient-centered approach to all of your urological needs. Remember, they've got that new men's health center. It is beautiful, helping men with a wide range of sensitive male issues in a comfortable environment. You can always go online, visit Urology Centers, Alabama.com.
Stop by the New York Butcher Shop and pick up the
urologists
finest
today.
and certified Angus prime beef steaks and burgers, premium pork chops, ribs, and all-natural chicken cut to order just for you. Their chef-prepared entrees and side dishes are the perfect dinner-to-go choice for your family and are ready to heat at home. With a great selection of fine wines and desserts, the New York Butcher Shop is your one-stop dinner shop. 2 locations to serve you, Cahaba Heights and on Highway 119 in Greystone. The New York Butcher Shop, rare quality, well-done service.
Ain't no party like a Dega party. The noise, the chaos, the will to survive. The biggest, boldest, brashest, fastest, and most intimidating track in all of NASCAR. Only one place calls that home. At Talladega, anything can happen. And at this super speedway, everything usually does. Hell yeah, boys! NASCAR weekend at Talladega Super Speedway, April 24th through the 26th. Get your tickets now at TalladagaSuperspeedway.com.
Alabama and Auburn spring football continues on. Just one note, part of our Innisfree countdown to kickoff, 155 days, by the way, until we start college football again. Your game day tradition is Innisfree Irish Pub in Tuscaloosa and Lakeview. Irish-inspired pub food, the signature Irish gold sauce, and
That's
always
so good.
And always a world-class atmosphere at Innisfree, Tuscaloosa and Lakeview. The Innisfree countdown to kickoff, 155 days. Spring football is continuing, of course. There is a push, apparently, behind the scenes that in 2027, not this year, but next year, that the SEC and the Big Ten are pushing to make Week 0 the start date for everybody. The whole season, college football will start Week 0, which would that then become Week 1.
I've never really understood, if you're going to have a Week 0, why not just let everybody play on it? I've
Yeah.
never really understood the whole Week 0 concept.
So they just want to get the season started maybe a week earlier, which would do away with Week 0. That, of course, then becomes officially Week 1. Something to keep an eye on later on.
Yeah.
More football coming up.
And that would give you 2 buys every year if you keep the calendar.
That's one reason why they're doing that. And the other is the expanded playoffs.
That's right.
That
Gives
is
you more room for
eventually,
playoffs,
is eventually coming. As we jump back into basketball, one more note on Alabama and where Alabama is right now. This is the golden era of Alabama basketball, yes or no?
Yes, I was on a plane back from Vegas yesterday.
Were you drunk on a plane? Were you like a Dirk Bentley song?
I was completely sober and met a gentleman named Ed at the gate there in Vegas on the way to Birmingham. Very nice man, loves our show. And we talked, and he even told Jennifer was standing there. She's like, I bet you get tired of guys just walking up to your husband and talking sports all the time. And she's like, oh, it's no problem. You know how Jennifer is. She jokes about it like, oh, I just tune you guys out, stuff like that. And he's like, well, I promise I'm finished talking sports with him. Three seats in the row. I'm window, Jennifer's middle. Who do you think's in the third seat?
Him?
Ed, yes.
Fantastic.
And he laughed as he got on. He goes, you're going to love this. Well, and he's like, I'm literally not going to talk sports. He pulled a book out, put his AirPods in for the whole flight. But near the end of the flight, this subject came up. He's like, look, you won't find a bigger Wimp Sanderson fan than me. I'm a lifelong Alabama fan. I loved what Coach did. He goes, I used to love when he was on y'all's show, and you used to tell him you loved him and all those things. And he's like, we've never had it better in basketball. He's like, this is, as much as I hate to say it, because I love Wimp, this is the best coach Alabama's ever had, and you really can't argue it.
No, historically looking, if you look at this tweet from Ben McKee of 24/7 CBS Sports, most consecutive Sweet 16 appearances from an SEC school since the round began in 1975, the CBS research team. Kentucky, 5 straight times to the Sweet 16 in 95 to 99. Next on that list, tied with 4, currently Tennessee and Alabama. Current streaks of 4 straight years to the Sweet 16. Next year, they'll try to tie the SEC record, both Tennessee and Alabama. If they get to the Sweet 16, that would be the longest, tie Kentucky for the longest Sweet 16 runs in SEC basketball history.
I mean, I think you see with Florida not even being on there, that's an old Florida streak because their current streak died in the round of 32, how hard this is to do. And Nate Oats, that's why maybe the way they beat Texas Tech surprised a lot of people, the barrage of threes that they hit and just the way they played the game. It didn't surprise me that they won the game at all. The guy's a Sweet 16 machine. I mean, I think if you're an Alabama fan moving forward with Nate Oats, you can feel very comfortable that the Sweet 16's always a possibility.
Yeah. I don't know if you saw the graphic we put out after last weekend. I mean, this isn't getting a ton of attention either. He surpassed Wimp Sanderson as the most tournament wins in school history, and he did it in about half the amount of time.
Yeah, I mean, he blitzed it. It's just he is a postseason machine, and that's I don't see a dime down anytime soon. Look, I mean, again, I'll bring Florida up. Todd Golden's as good a coach as there is in America, and they got bounced by an Iowa team that's just gotten hot at the right time. Those things are going to happen. I mean, that's going to happen occasionally. Happens to the best coaches that have ever coached the game. But Nate Oats is a Sweet 16 machine.
There are levels of NCAA tournament success. Making the tournament is, to me, is always the bar, right? That's a low bar to me. Your goal should be to make the NCAA tournament. It is big enough. That should be your goal. Winning that first game should be almost a given every year, right? Winning that second one is never easy for anybody. Because, I mean, look at the matchups. It's 1 versus 8 or 9. It's 2 versus 7. It's 3 versus, those are the matchups. Those are pretty like teams at that point, or the potential of upsets. And to get to the Sweet 16, which Wimp did a lot, is hard to do. And then you factor in that if Alabama was to shock the world tonight against Michigan,
right,
they're back to the Elite Eight for the 3rd straight year.
Oh, and if you can beat Michigan, I mean, going to the Elite Eight, you assume you're going to be in the Final Four. I mean, if you can beat Michigan, who can you not beat in this tournament?
Yeah.
Arizona?
It's not going to be easy even at that point.
No.
I mean, you play the winner of Tennessee, Iowa State.
And Tennessee is Alabama, like right now, if you told Nate Oats, we're giving you the Michigan win, and we're going to let you pick opponent Iowa State. I mean, he doesn't even think twice. He's like, I will take my shot against Iowa State. I'm so tired of playing Tennessee right now.
They got him this year up in Knoxville, though. All right. What we saw last night on the court brought to you by our friends at NASCAR Fast. We're back at Talladega coming up in April the 24th through the 26th. It's the Jack Links 500, and you can get your tickets right now at TalladegaSuperspeedway.com, TalladegaSuperspeedway.com. The unpredictable super speedway racing, always exciting. Don't forget to upgrade your garage experience with the most immersive garage experience in NASCAR. Just add that onto your ticket. You can get the details at TalladegaSuperspeedway.com or 877-GO-TO-DEGA. Again, it's the Jack Links 500 on April the 26th. Get out there and enjoy all the excitement of door-to-door, bumper-to-bumper NASCAR racing on the world's fastest speedway at the Talladega Superspeedway, TalladegaSuperspeedway.com to get your tickets. All right, last night, boy, am I the only one that thought Texas got jobbed last night? How many times did Trey Kaufman-Wren down low use his body, hook a Texas defender, and draw the foul? They were letting that guy hook. What's it called?
Hook and hold. It's
hold.
the targeting of college basketball. I get so tired of hook and hold.
No, I don't.
I do. We go to the monitor on it all the time.
It is a dangerous play, but also it is the way he draws into. And I thought he suckered the refereeing crew into countless fouls last night. He was hooking and holding, all sorts of shenanigans from the big men at Purdue, and I thought the officiating crew let him get away with it all night long.
I did, but did you think the and one was a foul right there at the end? The big guy with the beard. They called it Texas drives to the basket. Texas down 3. They drive to the basket. They get the and one. Okay, I didn't. I mean, there was to your point of all the things they let go inside. I just didn't think that was a foul right there. And Texas got a huge benefit of getting the and one because they were willing to take the 2 and then foul to extend the game. And they call the foul on the guy that looks like he's drawing retirement that plays for Purdue down inside.
Yep.
And basically kept Texas alive. But of all the way they let that game play out, I was a little surprised they called that one.
And Trayvon Mark's injury, and I've told this story 1,000 times before. I occasionally back in the day would go to the local Y and play in a pickup game, and the real basketball players never wanted me to play with them. Because not that they couldn't kick my ass, they didn't like that I couldn't control my body enough that when they were doing jump shots and I was defending them, I didn't get into their landing zone.
Yeah, you took away the land.
Yeah, which hurts people.
Sure.
And Trayvon Mark, who is having a game, I truly believe Texas wins this game if he doesn't come down on that guy's ankle. And he still played his butt off, limping around the court.
Yeah, I mean, it's a tie game with, 12 seconds to go, I guess?
Yeah.
Could have easily gone to overtime. A missed tip, and you're in overtime.
Listen, I hate that I've got to cheer for Purdue in this next game because it would help me if Arizona got eliminated in the bracket challenge. But I tweeted it after the game. The way they play, anybody but Purdue for me.
Anybody so you're a no Purdue guy.
Anybody but Purdue. I didn't like the way they played last night. I thought the officials let them get away with it. Arizona, though, looks really good. They took Arkansas to the woodshed 109-88. Cut 12 is John Calipari, and he talks about just how well Arizona played last night.
Arizona is really good. And if they shoot the ball that way and do the things they did today, wow.
Would you say that today was just the best your team has played so far this season?
I'm bad at that stuff, but obviously we played really well. When I was watching film, I thought we could have a lot of success offensively. Whether it's running our flow or transition or, just pounding the paint. And, our guys did a great job coming out and executing the game plan and hanging with it. Sometimes when things are coming easy offensively, and that's no disrespect to anybody. It's just sometimes you have a flow and it's going easy, a rhythm. It's hard to stay in that rhythm for an extended period of time. Maybe you let your guard down a little bit, or you say, oh, we're playing great. Maybe I'll shoot this 3 instead of turn this one down and drive it, So our guys did a great job of just staying steady and making the game simple and trying to find our advantages every possession. I thought our guys were, obviously they were great offensively today. And, the great thing about basketball and the tough thing about basketball is, unfortunately, that doesn't automatically translate to Saturday. So we got to find a way to kind of recreate that rhythm we had tonight. And we know that's going to be a big-time challenge.
Boy, Jaden Bradley's so good, too.
Yes. That felt like – do you know what that felt like? And it's yesterday on my way to the airport, the Uber driver took us past the Thomas and Mack Center. And I was telling Jennifer, I was like, man, when I was in high school, that place right there, that was a basketball cathedral because UNLV was so good. That felt like UNLV. The way they used to just whip teams – And this is not some Cinderella that got way out over their skis by getting to the Sweet 16. This is a named program in Arkansas with one of the best players in America.
A couple of first-round picks probably on that floor last night in the upcoming NBA draft.
And a Hall of Fame coach coaching them, and Arizona dominated them, absolutely dominated them, basically from the jump.
That's right.
That game was not – that game got out to double digits in a hurry, and Arizona never lifted, never looked back. That was a complete and total dismantling of Arkansas.
Yeah, I turned off that fast-paced game to watch Illinois and
I
Houston.
did too. I fought it as long as I could.
And I was like, crap, I'm going to watch that slugfest on the other channel.
I had Illinois Houston on the other TV, and I kept looking over, and it was like just before the half, 22-18. I'm like, I cannot give up on Arkansas just yet. But finally, Arizona beat me into submission. I had to do it.
Me too. Illinois did beat Houston last night, 65-55. Houston shot 34% from the floor. Illinois, which is not known as a great defensive team, ended up playing great defense last night. By the way, from that side of the bracket in the Final Four, Arizona beat Alabama in Birmingham this year. Alabama beat Illinois in Chicago, and Purdue beat Alabama in Tuscaloosa. Alabama did not play Iowa, but 3 of the 4 teams on that side of the bracket in the Elite Eight on Alabama's schedule. And I think Auburn also played Arizona. I don't know if they played Purdue or Illinois. So that's how good Auburn and Alabama's schedule was this year. In that Iowa game, they beat Nebraska 77-71. Biggest play of the game was late, inbound pass, 71-68 with 58 seconds to go. And they get a run out, dunk, and foul at the other end of the floor. Nebraska only has 4 guys on the floor.
This is twice we've seen this year with good coaches. Nate Oats did it once, and Fred Hoiberg, who's a fantastic coach, so well respected. Oats did it in a regular season game, and as you joked, a lot of people were like, that might have been the best defense Bama's played all year.
They forced a timeout.
Yeah, they forced a timeout with just 4 guys on the floor. To do it that late in an NCAA tournament Sweet 16 game is baffling to me.
And it gave you a run out, dunk, and foul, and made it a 6-point game. Ended up being the difference. Iowa beats Nebraska. What is crazy is the head coach of Iowa, Ben McCollum, and Hunter, who listens to us up in Huntsville, watches us in Huntsville. He DM'd me. He says, check out Ben McCollum's NCAA tournament record.
Okay.
So I did.
Yeah.
He is 38-8 in NCAA tournament games. Now that's Division I and Division II. He's a 4-time national champion in Division II, where he rarely lost in the NCAA tournament.
Yeah.
And then he got Drake deep into the tournament his 1 year at Drake. And now he's got Iowa as the Cinderella team going to the Elite Eight. Here's Ben McCollum after the game.
This is the lowest seeded Big Ten team to ever make the Elite Eight since seeding began in 1979. How do you feel about being called a Cinderella?
Yeah, maybe they should have seeded us better. No, I'm just kidding. They seeded us right where we should. Yeah, I guess there's Cinderella. We were so close in a lot of games, and I don't like to use that. And we were right there. And then we lost some games we probably shouldn't have. I think part of that is it's just like those games where those teams get up, we don't have enough just complete talent to be able to overwhelm, maybe the bottom tier teams in the Big Ten. And so we lose a couple of those games that we maybe should have won if we're at 97%. 97% doesn't work for us. Like, we have to be at 100%. So, Cinderella, whatever they want to call us. We're in the Elite Eight. That's what they need to call us.
It's a bit of a commentary, though, on where this tournament is and where this tournament is going in the future, that this has become your Cinderella.
Yeah. It was going to be Texas
a power conference team that just limped into the tournament and got a bad seed, and they somehow get hot. That's your new Cinderella in this thing.
That's right.
Which is kind of sad. But Iowa, they knocked Florida off. They make it to the Elite Eight. That's kind of what a Cinderella does. It's just not normally from a power conference. You want me to give you a crazy Iowa-Arizona combo stat? I don't know if you've seen it today.
I have not.
Arizona trying to get back to their first Final Four since their head coach was Lute Olson.
The white-haired guy, yeah.
Yeah, Lute Olson.
45 years?
Was their head coach?
No, since they've been to the Final Four.
It hasn't been that long, has it? I think it was 96.
Arizona won the national championship, I think, in 97.
97. I think that was their last Final Four.
Kentucky won it 96, 98, and Arizona won it the year in between.
Okay.
Iowa, it's been a longer drought. They have not been to the Final Four since 1980 when their head coach was
Maybe that's the 45-year one.
Lute Olson.
Lute Olson.
Isn't that
Wow,
crazy?
I didn't know, I didn't know Lute Olson coached at Iowa.
Yeah, Iowa and Arizona, their last Final Four trips were Lute Olson as the head coach.
So the grumpy old guy never got him to the Final Four?
No, McCaffrey never got him.
Okay.
No, he just all he did was Mick Cronin before Mick Cronin was cool.
Yeah. All right, more basketball with Fuhrman coming up at the top of the hour. One more thing to get to before we get to the viewing menu. Brought to you by our friends at Inverness Country Club. Brownie will be out playing golf on Saturday out at Inverness.
Hey, a little colder than I thought it was going to be. I didn't check the old
77
on Saturday. Yeah, but it's in the 40s when I tee off. I did not realize that. ICCalabama.com. The things we complain about. ICCalabama.com.
Can you tell we bumped it in Vegas where it was 99?
Oh, it was not cold in Vegas, that's for sure. I don't think my air conditioner went off the entire time I was there. And it would only go to 65, and it cooked, baby. 991-8608. That's the number to call our friend Aaron. You can see everything I'm about to tell you at ICCalabama.com, though. That's the website. Aaron will set up a tour. Tell her, hey, listen, I want to be a member before the next round's a member. And she'll set up a tour so you can see everything at Inverness Country Club. 205-991-8608. 205-991-8608 for Inverness Country Club. Talk to Aaron. Set up a tour. You're going to see that great course, the tremendous clubhouse, and the tennis facility, which is under renovation. But let me tell you, from my time in Inverness, the best part about Inverness is the people. The members are just fantastic. It is so much fun out there. You can see everything for yourself. ICCalabama.com. That's ICCalabama.com.
Last night in the postgame, and I can't tell you how many different people tagged me or sent this to me last night. Bruce Pearl, as a studio host, in talking about Hubert Davis being fired at North Carolina. And because of rights, we can't show you the actual video. But here's the quote. I just hate hearing the words Hubert Davis was fired at UNC. That sentence right there bothers me to my core. That's why I'm sitting here, guys. That's part of the reason why I'm sitting here, because there is no loyalty anymore. And people were like, what do you make of this? I was like, I've got no words. I don't even know what he's talking about. And, then I started thinking, God, is Steven starting to catch some heat after just 1 year?
Probably, but not job-losing heat.
But not from the administration or anybody, right? Or from the big boosters, I didn't think. Maybe some fans. I didn't know what Bruce was talking about. And then I've had a couple of people who have said he's talking more about NIL and the transfers and all of that. And maybe it got tied into the message about Hubert Davis at the wrong spot. It just didn't make a lot of sense to me what he was talking about, because he was very loyal to Auburn, and I always thought Auburn was very loyal to him.
100%, yeah.
I mean, Tennessee maybe wasn't loyal enough to him during that.
Yeah.
They didn't fight for him enough.
I mean, especially in hindsight, I mean, this is a long time ago, but when you see the things coaches have kept their jobs after they've done now, when I saw that first, I was like, that was a weird statement for a guy that could call his shot out of Auburn anytime he wanted. We often do the coach approval rating, fan approval rating. I don't know how many coaches in all SEC sports are at 100%. Bruce Pearl was at 100% when he retired.
Always.
When he retired and walked away, he was at 100%. There was not one. I mean, football has been so bad, it has had the focus of all the firings. And Bruce Pearl gave you a basketball program that you never had to worry about buying a coach out. I mean, it was 100%. So there's no way he's talking about loyalty and his job status. It's got to be dealing with the transfer portal and things like that. That I could only imagine that's what he meant by that.
I mean, and it just got tied into the Hubert Davis thing. That's when he brought it up.
Yeah, because when you say that, it makes it sound like, hey, look, I faced the same thing.
They fired Hubert Davis. There's no loyalty anymore.
That's right, and that's why I'm sitting here. There's no loyalty.
Which didn't make sense, but he was talking about other parts of the game, loyalty with the players.
That's going to be where people start Bruce Pearl got fired at Auburn? Bruce Pearl had just come to a Final Four. He didn't get fired at Auburn. I mean, that's going to be – because when he says it, to your point, where he said it, it makes it sound like he's saying, like, the same stuff Hubert faced, I face. Yeah. And that's why I'm sitting right here.
Yeah. By the way, Stephen Pearl was what is being around the basketball world trumpeted as a great hire. Picks up Brian Cloman yesterday to be his general manager. He's been with Pat Kelsey at every step along Pat Kelsey's way, including recently at Louisville. So Brian Cloman is going to help rebuild the roster down at Auburn as they set and get ready to go to the NIT Final Four in Indianapolis midweek next week. All right, viewing menu before we get to Fuhrman in Vegas, brought to you by our friends at Michelson Laser Vision. Brownie, tell us about Michelson.
That's the group of people that help Lance get his fighter pilot vision back. If your distance vision has failed you, Michelson Laser Vision has LASIK surgery. In fact, not only do they have it, they are the innovators in the field. Dr. Mark Michelson and his daughter Jennifer, people come from all over the world to see them and see their process. That's who you're dealing with Michelson Laser Vision. You can get a risk-free evaluation to see if LASIK surgery might be right for you. 969-8100 is the number. 969-8100, MichelsonLaserVision.com. When you call, tell them I want Lance Taylor's fighter pilot vision. You'll get that. Michelson Laser Vision, 969-8100, MichelsonLaserVision.com. Tyler.
Alrighty, so not much in the way of new releases today. It's kind of a slow week, but we've got plenty of re-releases hitting the theaters this weekend. The one I will definitely be attending is The Mummy Returns, the 25th anniversary. Brendan Fraser on a swashbuckling adventure. The Rock in peak WWE, The Rock form as the Scorpion King. It's just a great time.
Swashbuckling adventure is the way Tyler described that.
Yeah, he's going spelunking and treasure hunting, whatnot. It's a lot of fun.
Whatnot. I like the whatnot.
It's also available on Hulu and Disney Plus if you don't feel like getting out this weekend. We've also got the 40th anniversary of Stand By Me. Rest in peace, Rob Reiner. That will be back in the theaters this weekend, and it's also available for rental on Prime.
Every time you hear the movie Stand By Me, the scene you think of?
Leeches.
Leeches, every time. Tidy Whitey's leeches.
Oh, that's the worst. And then I also think of Choppers, Sick Balls.
Sick balls.
Next up, Peacock has a new addition to their catalog that I actually missed out on because it wasn't playing anywhere near here, and that is the latest entry in the Poonaverse, Bambi, the Reckoning. After a mother and son get in a car wreck, they soon become hunted by Bambi, a mutated deer. The grief-stricken creature embarks on a rampage seeking revenge for the death of his mother. So Bambi goes bad.
Bambi unhinged?
Yep.
Poonaverse, if Lance was here and said, "What is this about, Dunaway?"
Nice. Finally, this weekend, there is a re-release of an extremely old movie called Ben-Hur, where a Jewish prince is betrayed and sent into slavery by a Roman friend in first century Jerusalem, but it's not long before he regains his freedom and comes back for revenge.
Charlton Heston, right?
Yes, Charlton Heston, famous chariot sequence.
Yep.
And the movie is about 3 hours and 47 minutes.
Yeah. Not like Wizard of Oz. That thing goes 75 minutes, Tyler.
Tight.
I could not believe.
Yeah, that was edited to take advantage of the sphere.
There's no doubt. Yeah, my wife, she was like, "Baby, that was heavily edited." I was like, "Oh, I thought it was the most efficient movie ever made."
And that's all I got today.
By the way, when we started this platform, I used to sit in this chair.
Right.
I never realized how much taller I look in this chair because of depth perception than I do when I'm on that side.
You gonna swap back now?
No, you should look taller on that side. You're closer to the main.
I should, but I don't.
You're closer to the main camera on that side.
I'm just telling you.
Depth perception should hurt you right there.
It should, but I feel taller over here.
On that shot right there, on the shot Tyler is giving you right there, you're further from the camera than any seat.
It is.
So you should look smaller.
But I think our eyes are trained that I'm further away, but it looks like I'm the same height as Brown.
I don't know. Maybe I'm just slumped.
Yeah. But, of course, I sit over there because that camera makes LT look jaundiced.
That's right. That one does. That one does.
Yeah.
Ryan, the further away from the camera you are, the bigger you look. The closer to the camera you are, the bigger the things look in the background.
Is that true?
I think so. So to his point is, your size, me in the background, I look bigger.
Yeah.
I mean, I only spent a decade as a TV photographer, so.
Yeah. Don't do that.
The further from the camera you are,
right,
when you're in focus, everything gets blurred out in the background, which makes you stand out more.
Speaking of short and in Vegas, we'll go to Todd Fuhrman on the other side. Show being brought to you by our friends at Bud Light. Easy to drink, easy to enjoy.
Twitter and Instagram at Jim Dunaway.
I'm attorney Alexander Shinar, Alabama born, Alabama raised, and ready to fight for your rights. I have one of the largest firms in Alabama, and we are here to help you get the compensation you deserve. Call me, Alabama, 323-1000.
Your representation is made that the quality of legal services to be performed is greater than those of other lawyers.
To everyone who craves a fresh meal made just for you, let our team member Jacob share what's special about Culver's.
In Wisconsin, our food comes from the heart, and taking the time to handcraft your meal with care is how we've always done it at Culver's. It's why your Butterburger doesn't touch the grill until after you order.
Come to Culver's and let us serve you a Butterburger made special just for you. From Wisconsin with love, welcome to Delicious.
At Central State Bank, we are large enough to serve you and small enough to know you. Manage your money with ease, whether it's mobile banking, hassle-free checking, competitive loans, business solutions, or personalized financial advice. We're your hometown bank with big-time service. Visit us today and experience banking made simple, because at Central State Bank, you come first.
Member FDIC.
Looking for the ultimate weekend in Birmingham? The Children's of Alabama Indy Grand Prix is back at Barber Motorsports Park, March 27th through 29th, bringing big energy, big crowds, and unforgettable moments. It's more than a race. It's a full day of excitement, family fun, food, music, and world-class competition, all set on one of the most beautiful venues in racing. The Children's of Alabama Indy Grand Prix at Barber Motorsports Park. Get your tickets now.
Get all your favorite Next Round gear all in one place, nextround.store. From our Next Round hats to the logo tees to the all-time best-selling Y'all Can Have the Rest shirt, you can look your best by shopping with us at nextround.store. Take the next round anywhere with nextround.store.
Storm season is here. Make sure you have a plan of action in place right now. Greg from Pell City and Storm Restoration Roofing should be your first call when storms hit. Insurance companies love working with Storm Restoration Roofing because of Greg Nelson's name and reputation in the industry. When storms hit, call Greg Nelson. He's local, 205-542-3531. He's the home of the free no-cost roof inspection. Greg from Pell City on Facebook, 205-542-3531. It's Storm Restoration Roofing. Sterling and the fine folks at Champy's Chicken on Highway 119 in Alabaster want to welcome you in for a great lunch or dinner starting at 11 a.m. every day. Chicken that's brined overnight and cooked to order, and the taste of the Delta with those Delta recipe tamales. Champy's is perfect for all your tailgating needs this football season. You can also choose Champy's for your next party, wedding, or birthday. Great food, great people. Champy's Chicken on Highway 119 in Alabaster, and everything online at champyschicken.com.
Hey, there's nothing worse than waking up to a plumbing problem. Don't get caught in a flooded house. Call the guys at Hemp Hill Services. Adam, Chad, and the team at Hemp Hill are the only ones I trust to fix it and fix it right the first time. Hemp Hill Services does it right and always at a fair price. For all of your plumbing, cooling, and heating needs, trust the name that Birmingham has trusted since 1954. That is Hemp Hill Services. Call now, 205-229-2090. That's 205-229-2090.
Ain't no party like a Dega party. The noise, the chaos, the will to survive. The biggest, boldest, brashest, fastest, and most intimidating track in all of NASCAR. Only one place calls that home. At Talladega, anything can happen. And at this super speedway, everything usually does.
Hell yeah, boys!
NASCAR weekend at Talladega Superspeedway, April 24th through the 26th. Get your tickets now at TalladegaSuperspeedway.com.
Jim Dunaway, Lance Taylor, Ryan Brown. Live from the Birmingham Racecourse Casino Studios, the next round, presented by Bud Light, is on now.
All right, all the basketball fun continues tonight with 4 more games. St. John and Duke. A lot of people picking St. John. Bama and Michigan gets us started. Then a classic Michigan State, UConn, and Tennessee and Iowa State. No SEC teams to the Elite Eight. 2 more shots tonight. Let's talk to Fuhrman.
We will. Don't forget the Indy Racing League coming back to Birmingham this weekend. It is the Medical Properties Trust presents the Children's of Alabama Indy Grand Prix powered by AM First. You can get tickets at IndyAlabama.com. IndyAlabama.com. We'll have people from all 50 states and 14 foreign countries here If the past is any indication. Your Grand Marshal, the great Dale Murphy, Braves legend. So go see Dale Murphy there. IndyAlabama.com for tickets. IndyAlabama.com will be out there a little bit later on today with a little extra show. Sometime around 1:30. Keep an eye out. And Dunaway and I will be talking some more about the NCAA tournament. Chris Stewart will join us from up in Chicago to talk about Bama tonight. All right, Todd Fuhrman is with us from Vegas. Fuhrman, I was out there just after Dunaway left. Remarkably, lights were still on. I'm happy to report the Vegas casinos still able to keep their lights on after Jim Dunaway wiped them out. So that was a win for Vegas.
2-11 this time. I didn't bet on everything, but 2-11 this time.
A remarkable run.
And Dunaway, that's why you had to really push yourself outside of your comfort zone. You had to try and bet every one of the first-round matchups to see if you could rival some of your past historic ineptitude. So depriving the people of that kind of volume and just going 2-11 feels like an anticlimactic trip out here to the desert.
So your last two trips are combined
4-41.
There's a lot of people, Brownie, that would pay for that kind of information. All they want out of sports bettors is consistency. Either be consistently good and people will ride the momentum, or consistently bad and they are more than happy to go against you. So that kind of consistency is a thing professional bettors dream of from a guy like Dunaway.
Mathematically, when betting point spread or when betting anything, it's just as hard to go 4-41 as it is 41-4.
That's what I told everybody. Fuhrman told me that when I was 2-30. I was telling them on the trip out, we just played too much golf this time that I wasn't in the sports book enough to go 2-30 again. I was 2-0. It's horrible. 2-11.
That's amazing.
That's kind of where you have to make sure you're depositing in the mobile app, Dunaway. So being on the golf course doesn't provide an excuse for not being able to pick losers and give the people exactly what they're looking for that time of year.
Well, I will tell you this. We thought we had reserved a table for round one. We had not planned on playing golf on Thursday. And we thought we'd be all wall-to-wall games on Thursday.
Which sports book?
I'm not naming it.
Okay.
But they had messed up our
Circus.
They had messed up our reservation, and we
look,
did not have a table.
Oh.
If you'd have called ahead, I'd have been happy to charge you, a couple $1,000 for an overpriced bottle of vodka, get you some nice domestic beer, and brought in some wings. You could have sat in the man cave and been able to control the volume on whatever TVs you would have liked around here.
Yeah.
We do have a pretty tough bouncer, though, because Milo can be pretty intimidating, all 55 pounds of him, the dog that controls the roost.
I will tell you, there is nobody who is better at a post-trip invitation than Todd Fuhrman. I told him 3 times I was on the way out to Vegas before I got to Vegas, and I get the invitation when I'm back safely home in Alabama. That's fine. That's fine. I wouldn't want to hang out with me either.
Look, I understand how things work. I'm going through my text messages right now to figure out what time my tea time was, and apparently I don't have any correspondence from you either. So
I figured you were working.
My good friend, there are 2 sides of the coin.
Yeah, I did learn something on this trip, and I'll pass it along to you as well. Make note that if you ever need a paramedic to take a friend or a family member to a local hospital, choose one other than Sunrise Medical.
I'm not even going to ask about the specifics around that kind of situation.
Yeah.
My biggest learning experience from being out here for 20-plus years, if you need a grade 1 trauma medical facility, you're better off in Los Angeles than you are in Las Vegas. Let's put it at that.
All I know is Sunrise Medical, it was 10:30 local time. We had to take someone there. Fuhrman, the patient has to go through a metal detector.
Look, sometimes there are some areas around here, just like I'm sure there are in Birmingham, where you want to make sure that the doctors and medical staff are protected from people that may or may not have major trauma that may be sneaking weapons into the emergency room in some capacity or another.
I mean, we were only allowed to have one of our friends to go in with our buddy. And then it was approaching midnight local time, and 3 of us were outside on the street, couldn't go in. And it was getting scary. And we were like, I think we're at more risk out here than he is back there with an IV in him. So we bolted.
I probably would have looked for a local Jack in the Box or 24-hour McDonald's at that point, rather than spending your time right outside the hospital knowing where that area is located.
Hey, I'm telling you, I didn't know that part of Vegas existed. I only see the Strip.
I found Fremont. I found Fremont on this trip. That's another world, too. Let me go ahead and tell you.
I'm usually on the Strip or at golf courses in really nice neighborhoods. I did not know that Sunrise Medical. Great doctors there, though. I felt like I was watching an episode of The Pit.
The good thing about it, guys, is that we're still light years ahead of Atlantic City. So if you think things can get a little dicey off Las Vegas Boulevard in the wee hours of the morning, I encourage you, if you ever find yourself adjacent to the ocean in Jersey, don't leave the boardwalk, and probably better advice, don't actually leave your hotel once the sun goes down.
Hey, Fuhrman, no joke. This is so much like The Pit. There was one young lady who was leaving as we were going through the metal detector with our buddy, and we asked about her, and no, she's a regular. She just comes for the free sandwiches.
Must be a good sandwich.
Like, this is an episode of The Pit.
It really is.
They have that on The Pit too.
Fuhrman, after last night's dismantling of Arkansas, we've got to be at the height of the Arizona market right now, aren't we?
They are definitely there. I spoke to a couple of bettors this morning that are wondering if this number will continue to drift a little further, and they'll have an opportunity to bet Purdue if that number got into that +7 range, or even able to lay $1.15 to be able to do it. But you're exactly right. I mean, Arizona goes out there, picks apart an Arkansas team that looked like they wanted to play basketball like Dunaway does on a Friday night at the YMCA back in his athletic heyday, provided absolutely no resistance, and Arizona was more than happy to oblige and take advantage of it. Now, that all being said, I mean, this is an Arizona team from an offensive capability standpoint. It's a little bit of a throwback. Not that they slow it down, but that they don't rely on just the outside jumper to go out there and do damage. Makes for a fascinating matchup, and I think Purdue fans have to be optimistic that this is a group that's finally looking like a team that came into the year as the preseason number one that limped down the stretch of Big Ten Conference play before they were able to flip a gear. So should be a hell of a game with that late tip-off coming from San Jose tomorrow night.
Well, I mean, they look so. I mean, Purdue needs a tip-in to beat 11-seed Texas, and Arizona dismantles SEC tournament champion Arkansas. They just look like. I agree. It's going to be. It looks like a fun game, but they look like they're playing on two totally different planes right now.
So the big thing that's always important to kind of take away from the one data point would be a little bit of the context on the game between Purdue and Texas. I mean, Texas shoots an uncharacteristically high 44% from beyond, going 11 for 25. Meanwhile, for Purdue, they couldn't throw the ball in the ocean. I mean, only Fletcher Lawyer knocks down a three. He goes 4 from 8, but as a team, 4 for 20. So the fact that the Boilers were able to even win that game without having one of their key offensive weapons and their reliance on the outside jumper not work in their favor may mean they get a little bit of a positive regression working in their favor against Arizona. So going to be fascinating to see, because this is the one matchup where I still think you have to give Purdue an edge in the coaching box in favor of Matt Painter, who has been there before, compared to Tommy Lloyd, who is continuing to try and provide a deep run and eliminate the notion that he can't get things done in the clutch. Whereas for Arizona against Coach Cal, I mean, look, that was a kind of a coaching display or malpractice that we saw from Arkansas to a similar extent, the round of 32 game against High Point, just guys that didn't want to gauge on the defensive end. So I think it's an interesting chess match to try and see how it'll be played. The one good thing about it for folks that like to root for points, I mean, this will probably project to be one of the higher totals that we'll see in the Elite Eight, with a number that's been kicked up from 151.5 where it opened out to 153.
4 games tonight, including Alabama, as they take on Michigan. And obviously the point spread continues to grow for Michigan out there. Path to victory for Alabama is what?
Knocking down their outside jumpers. I don't think we're going to tell Tide fans what they don't already know, that this team on their best day can hang with any team in the country, given their reliance on the shots from deep. But at the same time, do they have that off-speed pitch, so to speak, if the shots aren't falling against Michigan's big athletic front line? And that's what has to scare you a little bit, given how well Alabama shot the ball in their first 2 games of the tournament. I will say that Bama has taken some money. We did see Michigan open as a 10.5-point favorite. Number has trended down towards 9, even see an 8.5 at a couple national books right now. Total down a touch as well, from 174 to 173. Michigan, a little bit of level of familiarity playing at the United Center, where they rattled off a couple wins in a few days, coming up short in the Big Ten tournament. So you wonder if that'll work in their favor. You'll have a prominent alumni base that'll travel there, creating a little bit of a home court atmosphere. But Alabama in March has been one of the more difficult teams for me to handicap over the last couple of years, because on their best days, they can run away and hide from elite teams, and on their worst days, they can look pretty pedestrian. But what we saw from Alabama in the round of 64 and in their dismantling of Texas Tech is why professional bettors, when we broke down Alabama's tournament prospects about a month ago, were willing to take some of those long shot prices on this team to be a dark horse to get to the Final Four.
Todd Fuhrman is with us on the Alexander Shinara Trial Attorneys Hotline. He is part of CBS Sports. and also the former odds maker at Caesars Palace. The other SEC team in action tonight, which if the Bama-Michigan game goes the way most think it will, Tennessee will be playing for the SEC's lives tonight against Iowa State, who's about a 3.5-point favorite here against the Vols. Rick Barnes has made 2 straight Elite Eights. He's been able to get to that point, but it's getting past that point that has been his Achilles heel. How does Tennessee make it to the Elite Eight this time?
I think Tennessee has a great opportunity to pull off the modest upset as a 3.5, 4-point underdog against the Cyclones tonight. Of course, the big injury news that I think everybody is going to be waiting for will be the availability of Iowa State kind of do-it-all forward, 6'9", Joshua Jefferson. And if Jefferson can't go, it changes so much of what this Cyclones team can do, not only on the offensive end, but the length and athleticism he provides on the defensive side as well. Even if Jefferson does suit up, I'm not optimistic that he's going to be able to log his full workload. I mean, that ankle injury looked pretty ugly last weekend, but we've seen the miraculous healing powers of kids that age compared to old men like ourselves that would probably be down for the count. And Dunaway would be walking around Las Vegas in an air cast for the next 6 to 8 weeks if he suffered that same kind of ankle sprain. But I do think Tennessee is live. You mentioned Rick Barnes kind of breaking through that proverbial glass ceiling to get to the Elite Eight. This is a team that can defend. I think they're going to need a little bit more out of Nate Oats if they're going to pull off the win here. But I think the Vols make a world of sense catching 4 in this spot. Would not be shocked at all if they go into the United Center and punch their ticket to the Elite Eight.
Boy, everybody seems to think Duke is gettable.
It's pretty wild because you said it, and I know we don't talk to the same people. I've talked to a variety of folks whose opinions I respect and folks who just bet the NCAA tournament. They all feel like this is a sportsbook version of charity today, that they're just giving away money to try and bet the Johnnies plus the 6.5. I'm not going to go that far. I mean, we make this number in that 8.5, 9 range. I don't think we're going to see Caleb Foster out there. From a matchup standpoint, you can understand why there's skepticism around Duke and their ability to win by margin. We've only seen them put together, a good 10 to 15 minutes of basketball over their last 5, coming in the second half against TCU where they ran away and hid in that victory against the Horned Frogs. My big fear with St. John's isn't what they do on the defensive end, but it's how long their offensive droughts can last on the offensive side. I mean, this is a team that doesn't wow you with their ability to shoot from deep. I don't love the roster construction when it comes to having a takeover score in a matchup of this caliber. But look, Rick Pitino's resume speaks for itself. He will have this team ready to go. I think we could see it turn into a little bit of a rock fight. But will we get the St. John's offense we saw early against Kansas that allowed them to build a comfortable lead? Or will we see the group that really kept that back door open for Kansas to come snowballing in, needing some late heroics from a player that hadn't had a bucket all game long? Lean towards Duke here, minus the points, especially as the number comes down. But do think the under is very much in play, looking to make a case to go under 141.
And finally, the last game tonight, the CBS game, late game, UConn, Michigan State. UConn, a 1.5-point favorite. Tom Izzo and Dan Hurley, both pretty good this time of year.
There is no doubt. Neither have to apologize for what they've been able to accomplish in March. But don't tell Spartans fans that Dan Hurley has probably jumped Tom Izzo in terms of his ability to maximize his talent this late in the season. And you look at the construction for this UConn roster, Harris Reed is an absolute matchup nightmare. He has been phenomenal with the veteran leadership he provides for this team. The problem for UConn, and what's kept me on the sidelines and won't allow me to make a bet on the game, is that I think Michigan State has the edge in the backcourt. If you get Jeremy Fears at his best, I mean, he can control the game from that point guard position and allow Michigan State to have a little bit more than a puncher's chance. Not saying anything people don't already know when you look at UConn as just a 2-point favorite in the game. Total's been interesting to monitor as well. 136.5 got as low as 134. You start to see a little bit more over money kind of trickle back in. If the number continued to move out, I think Michigan State gets slightly more intriguing if I was able to grab 3. I don't think it gets there, but this should have all the makings of a heavyweight matchup and should be one hell of a game to watch from a basketball purist standpoint.
And finally, I only ask you this because we wouldn't have a chance to talk to you between. If Alabama is able to shock the world tonight and upset Michigan, slight favorite over Tennessee, slight underdog to Iowa State, is that the way that would shake out, you think?
So, pretty close to a pick'em against Tennessee, and Tennessee would have to upgrade for a win against Iowa State in this game, and then we would want to monitor the status for Jefferson as well.
Yeah.
Iowa State would open, for me, right around a 2-possession favorite in that game, so this is no doubt Alabama's biggest test in the region, and if they're able to beat Michigan, no reason to believe that they wouldn't be able to pull off another upset. and find an outside chance to punch a ticket to Lucas Oil Stadium and be participants in the Final Four.
All right, he is Todd Fuhrman. You can follow him on social media at Todd Fuhrman. Great all the time, especially this time of year. Former odds maker at Caesars Palace. See his work on CBS as well. Fuhrman, we appreciate the time as always, my friend. Enjoy the Sweet 16 and Elite 8 this weekend.
And one thing, Brown, before I take off, Dunaway, since you have IndyCar in your backyard, it's not a sport I handicap. You got a winner for me this weekend.
In the IndyCar? Whoever at this track, whoever makes the pole position, bet on that one. It's not a lot of passing.
I don't know. I don't want the number. I'll find the number out, Fuhrman, but I would guess. I don't have how many races we've had here.
This is 24th year.
24th year. I would guess the pole sitter has won 18 of the 24. You think that's too heavy?
And maybe second place.
Very much an F1 component to that, unfortunately. And while you love to see the sport travel around, you would like an opportunity for passing and overtaking in all motorsports disciplines, that's for sure.
When they first ran this track, the complaints from the drivers were so much that they actually redid a few of the turns just to try to encourage passing.
That's right.
There was almost no passing when the track first opened. So, yeah, you don't get a lot of that here.
A little bit disappointing, even more so that Dunaway's not the Grand Marshal ahead of Dale Murphy. So we'll wait.
Yeah.
So we'll wait for his chance to shine and be out there. But, gentlemen, enjoy the hoops this weekend. Should be great to watch the couple remaining games in the Sweet 16 and the Elite 8, and we'll see what teams will have a chance to cut down the nets this time next week in Indianapolis.
He had 2 more National League batting titles than I did.
Yeah, win some, you lose some.
Potato. It's all relative, buddy.
All right.
Thank you, Fuhrman. Good to see you.
See you good, boys.
All right.
Same numbers of world championships, though, I think.
Oh, that's a good point. Yeah. Jay Bake with the early in the chat room. Thank you, Fuhrman. I must do that one every week. I guess I do. Thank you, Fuhrman. That is Todd Fuhrman. Love talking to him every single Friday here on the show. He joined us on the Alexander Shunnarah Trial Attorneys Hotline, Shunnarah.com. Shunnarah.com, that's the place to go when you find yourself in need of any sort of legal assistance. You know by now, obviously, that Alexander Shunnarah takes care of you on the personal injury cases. What you might not know is that they've got a lot more than that. Bad drug and device cases, storm damage cases, employment cases, workers' compensation, so much more. So basically, you find yourself in any legal situation, Shunnarah.com. Shunnarah.com, that's where you go. And don't forget to play the Shunnarah Showdown tonight. It is live right now. How does it work, you may ask? You've never played the Shunnarah Showdown? You just go to nextroundlive.com, nextroundlive.com, where you will find tonight's game there at nextroundlive.com. You make a play against the point spread, Iowa State, Tennessee. We try to give you a later game as possible, so you got plenty of time to get in there. Make that point spread play. It's either Iowa State or Tennessee. If you get it right, you're in.
Rocky Top.
You're in the drawing if you get it right.
Tennessee.
That's you get it right, and you're in the drawing. Now we're paying 4 places. Alexander Shunnarah is giving a bottle of Pappy from his own personal reserve, which is significant, by the way, or $1,000 to the winner. You get your choice, and then it's on down to $500, $250 on Amex gift cards from that. Shunnarah is helping you win with the Shunnarah Showdown right there at nextroundlive.com.
And our friends at Urology Centers of Alabama, still a great time to get a vasectomy there and enjoy the rest of the NCAA tournament while you recover. Very easy to sit back and relax after having that procedure with our friends at Urology Centers of Alabama. Or the Masters is coming up. Make a plan to make an appointment to do it then. Great locations. You can get more details. 205-930-0920, 930-0920, urologycentersalabama.com. Great locations, 10 of them here in Central Alabama with the best urologists. Everything from prostate health to kidney stones. They've got testosterone treatment and everything. urologycentersalabama.com. One more thing before we take our next break. That is Nate Oats talking at the podium after the shoot-around at the United Center in Chicago yesterday about what Alabama looks like in this matchup against Michigan.
Michigan's top 10 offense and defense, they're going to be hard to beat, but I do think we've got a team that can compete with them. I do think we're playing our best basketball. Thought that game against Texas Tech, who, by the way, is a very good team. Tech went to Iowa State and won at Iowa State, and Iowa State's one of the best teams in the country without Toppin. So we played a very good Texas Tech team and played pretty well against them. So I think we're playing our best basketball, and we're going to have to play even significantly a lot better than that in order to beat Michigan. But I do think we're trending in the right direction at the right time, like we've tended to do here in this program. So I think we've got our guys locked in, ready to go. We're going to have to execute the game plan. We're going to have to make some shots. We're going to have to take care of the ball. We're going to have to find a way to rebound. And if we do that, we're going to have a chance to beat this team.
Yeah, they've had some opportunities to play teams like Michigan this year. Arizona in Birmingham was one of those where Alabama didn't fare too well. They fared better than some, but not too well. They did beat Illinois.
Good for a half, by the way.
And played Purdue very close until the final 3 minutes of the game in Tuscaloosa.
Look, I mean, even the most dominant teams, you go back, I mentioned UNLV earlier when the one-loss UNLV team made the run through the tournament. Some of these Duke teams that were dominant. Even the most dominant of teams almost never, if ever, run through this tournament without having a tight game. I mean, even the best of all time, if we start listing these are the best basketball teams of all time, all of them have a tight game. It's just almost impossible against this level of competition to go 6 games without getting a scare put into you. So that game's coming for Michigan at some point. I don't know when it's going to be, but it's coming at some point. If you're a Bama fan, you hope it's tonight. You hope they're a little bit off, and you're red hot, and you're the team that puts the scare in them and maybe gets the upset. Hasn't happened yet. 101-80 against Howard, 95-72 against St. Louis. Those games are over before tip. So you hope you're the one that puts the scare in them.
That's right. And it's a new week, new tournament. Rested Alabama. Maybe they can run Michigan a little bit and see what happens tonight. That game at 6:35 Central on TBS, Crimson Tide Sports Network. If you're listening to it on your radio device, that includes Brian Passink, who will be with us in about 35 minutes coming up at the top of the next hour. The show today being brought to you by LancesLock.com. Play on today's Elite 8 Sweet 16 games at LancesLock.com. LancesLock.com, which is always brought to you by our friends at Hemp Hill Services. The temperatures are hot, then they're cool, then they're hot again. That's why you need the best in the business. That's our friends at Hemp Hill. Whether you're experiencing problems with plumbing, heating, or cooling issues, they've got you covered both home and business. They're ready to serve you. 205-229-2090, 229-2090 for everything you need for your cooling system in the South this summer. It's our friends at Hemp Hill and also our friends at Culver's.
Yeah, Culver's, welcome to Delicious. Whether your bracket is busted or still cooking, a great place to celebrate the wins or forget the losses, our friends at Culver's. They have been bringing you coverage of the postseason basketball all tournament long, and they will continue to do so. We appreciate them doing that. From that juicy butter burger to those crispy crinkle-cut fries, those gooey golden cheese curds, and cap off that meal with that great frozen custard, Culver's is the place to go any night, but especially on a game night. Welcome to Delicious with Culver's. 2 great Birmingham locations, Tattersall Park, Highway 280, and also Stadium Trace, just off Highway 150 near the Hoover Met there in Birmingham. Culver's, welcome to Delicious.
Follow LT on Twitter at @TheLanceTaylor.
I'm attorney Alexander Shinar, Alabama born, Alabama raised, and ready to fight for your rights. I have one of the largest firms in Alabama, and we are here to help you get the compensation you deserve. Call me, Alabama, 323-1000.
No representation is made that the quality of legal services being performed is greater than those of other lawyers.
To everyone who craves a fresh meal made just for you, let our team member Jacob share what's special about Culver's.
In Wisconsin, our food comes from the heart, and taking the time to handcraft your meal with care is how we've always done it at Culver's. It's why your Butterburger doesn't touch the grill until after you order.
Come to Culver's and let us serve you a Butterburger made special just for you. From Wisconsin with love, welcome to Delicious.
At Central State Bank, we are large enough to serve you and small enough to know you. Manage your money with ease, whether it's mobile banking, hassle-free checking, competitive loans, business solutions, or personalized financial advice. We're your hometown bank with big-time service. Visit us today and experience banking made simple, because at Central State Bank, you come first.
Member FDIC.
Looking for the ultimate weekend in Birmingham? The Children's of Alabama Indy Grand Prix is back at Barber Motorsports Park, March 27th through 29th, bringing big energy, big crowds, and unforgettable moments. It's more than a race. It's a full day of excitement, family fun, food, music, and world-class competition, all set on one of the most beautiful venues in racing. The Children's of Alabama Indy Grand Prix at Barber Motorsports Park. Get your tickets now.
Think about the best summer nights of your life. How many of those were in a great t-shirt? Visit nextround.store to get the perfect t-shirt for the next perfect Southern night. Nextround.store. The memories are waiting. Remember the name Way to Wellness if you're battling weight loss in your life. I'm Jim Dunaway from The Next Round. There was a time I was over 216 pounds until Way to Wellness helped me lose 45 pounds, and now for over 2 years, they've helped me keep that weight off. Here's their website, aplanforme.com, aplanforme.com. That's a great name for a website because there's no cookie-cutter plan. Everything is designed specifically for you. No contract, no sign-up fees, and your first consultation is free at Way to Wellness.
Hey, let me tell you about our friends at Urology Centers of Alabama. Compassionate and comprehensive urological care with 35 physicians, 17 locations across Alabama. Their patient-centered approach to all of your urological needs. Remember, they've got that new men's health center. It is beautiful, helping men with a wide range of sensitive male issues in a comfortable environment. You can always go online, visit urologycentersalabama.com, schedule an appointment with one of their many urologists today. Stop by the New York Butcher Shop and pick up the finest in certified Angus prime beef steaks and burgers, premium pork chops, ribs, and all-natural chicken cut to order just for you. Their chef-prepared entrees and side dishes are the perfect dinner-to-go choice for your family and are ready to heat at home. With a great selection of fine wines and desserts, the New York Butcher Shop is your one-stop dinner shop. 2 locations to serve you, Cahaba Heights and on Highway 119 in Greystone. The New York Butcher Shop, rare quality, well-done service.
Ain't no party like a Dega party. The noise, the chaos, the will to survive. The biggest, boldest, brashest, fastest, and most intimidating track in all of NASCAR. Only one place calls that home. At Talladega, anything can happen. And at this super speedway, everything usually does.
Hell yeah, boys!
NASCAR weekend at Talladega Superspeedway, April 24th through the 26th. Get your tickets now at TalladegaSuperspeedway.com.
We're gonna send out an alert in just a second, but coming up in 1 hour, we're gonna have Bruce Pearl on the show.
Former Auburn coach
Bruce Pearl, because I was confused by the reaction and his comments last night on the Hubert Davis things when he talked about loyalty. And the best way to do this is just to get Bruce on and let Bruce explain what he was talking about and how things may have gotten misconstrued or misinterpreted or whatever. So let's try to get Bruce on in an hour,
okay.
11:30 Central, and we'll let Bruce talk about what was said last night that filled up mine and Brown's inbox overnight. And I woke up to it this morning, and people were wanting answers, and I was like, I can't tell you what he's talking about. I have no idea what he's talking about.
I didn't know it until this morning because as soon as the games went final, I don't know about you, that was late. I punted and went right to bed. So
we'll try to get Bruce on in 1 hour at 11:30 Central, and we'll talk to Bruce coming up then, and squeeze in a little basketball after we talk about the loyalty comment last night that was blended into the conversation about Hubert Davis and has been taken a variety of different ways from different outlets across the country. So that's coming up in 1 hour. Brian Passing in 30 minutes here on a very busy Friday right in the middle of the NCAA tournament. Before Brownie tells us about Johnson RV, one unique thing happening tonight away from basketball and away from the Braves opener and day 3 of the Major League Baseball season, and an Auburn-Alabama top 25 baseball matchup in Tuscaloosa, where Auburn's baseball team is off to a great start. Alabama just coming off, I think, a sweep of Florida. So that's going to be a great series. But if you just want drama, I'd record it because you're going to be watching the NCAA tournament. But on main Fox at 7 o'clock tonight, the Birmingham Stallions UFL debut, and spring football, long season, I understand. But it's also the debut of A.J. McCarron and maybe even more interesting, Tyler Siskey, the play caller for this. And I'm a big fan of Siskey and McCrady's podcast. And A.J., when he's on there, just great content when they're doing their broadcasting. Now they're coaching, and they're going to be mic'd up coaching.
Oh, they're micing those guys up?
Well, you can hear the play calling.
What kind
you can hear the coaches.
What kind of delay is this on?
I don't know, but main Fox tonight.
I mean, I've watched Siskey with McCready, and I mean, He's not afraid. He's not afraid to let him fly.
I won't be watching it live.
No.
But I will record it so I can go back and enjoy full throttle A.J. McCarron's head coaching debut and Tyler Siskey back calling plays.
Are they home or away?
They're away in Louisville, which should be a great atmosphere, by the way, because they're playing in the Louisville Soccer Stadium.
Oh, not Papa John's? Yeah.
Yeah, so it'll be a small arena with a pretty good crowd there, and mic'd up A.J. McCarron and Tyler Siskey, which is great in a podcast form. Live in a football game is got to be entertaining.
Oh, my gosh.
So that's 7 o'clock, main Fox tonight, Fox 6 in the Birmingham market. Show being brought to you by Johnston RV.
I-65 exit 304 in Coleman, 334 in Decatur, and always online at johnstonrvcenter.com. That's where you go to find out more about Johnston RV. Now, listen, while you're there, you could shop by your price range, so they make it easy there to filter out if you're looking maybe to buy on a budget or if the budget is unlimited. You can shop by a model. You can go with the park model. You can go with the toy hauler. You can go with the motorhome. Whatever the case might be, you can shop right there at johnstonrvcenter.com. And everything you buy at Johnston RV Center that is new or qualifying pre-owned comes with a lifetime warranty from RV Warranty Forever. Lifetime warranty from RV Warranty Forever. That's what you get at Johnston RV Center. I-65 exit 304 in Coleman, 334 in Decatur. Always online, johnstonrvcenter.com.
Okay, we'll get back to sports in this segment, talking about everything going on in the NCAA tournament. But first, off the court, off the field, is it possible that LSU has put together the 3 most hated coaches by opponents in college athletics history? They already had Kim Mulkey, who I love, by the way, but I understand people who are playing against her do not like her because she speaks her mind, she's loud, she rides the officials, and they don't like the way she dresses. Whatever reason you don't like Kim Mulkey, she wins, and I like her because she's entertaining. Lane Kiffin, you can't say he's not entertaining, but he is not liked by a lot of people. And now getting off in a purple shirt off a jet is Will Wade after he undressed a reporter who asked him at the end of the ACC tournament about returning to LSU. And he made it sound like it was all lies, misinformation.
Yep. Is that job even open?
I'm loyal to NC State.
Which,
we're already talking about next year.
Yeah, I mean, by the way, the takeaway from that was him asking if the job was even open when LSU was basically making sure he got the job before they punted the guy that was in the job in Matt McMahon.
Yep. So Mulkey, Kiffin, and now Will Wade. I don't know if you could ever put together a trio that has been more disliked in college athletics by opposing fans in the history of college sports, that trio there.
By the way, speaking of Will Wade as part of this, this will be another thing that adds to the hatred of Will Wade. Boo Corrigan, who is the athletics director at NC State, has confirmed that the resignation came via email from Wade's agent.
That's right. Now, Will did post on social media a big thank you to Boo Corrigan, NC State for the opportunity, but the actual legal resignation came from his agent via email.
Via email, not a phone call, not a, hey, just want to catch you up on what's going on, Boo, sorry, man, all those things. Nope, came via email from the agent. I don't watch women's college basketball, but I can name a handful of coaches in women's college basketball, and one of them is Kim Mulkey.
That's right.
And that is because, and in fact, I mean, it's a very short list. Gino Auriemma, Kim Mulkey, Dawn Staley, and I think I'm out. The girl from Alabama just took the South Florida job.
Christy Curry.
Christy Curry, thank you. Now I'm really out. I don't know that I can go much deeper. The Vic Schaefer guy. So, I mean, the point I'm making is I got to really strain to get to 5 women's basketball coaches. But I know Gino Auriemma and Dawn Staley and Kim Mulkey because of their success. And really, I don't know a whole lot about Staley. I don't know if she's liked or disliked. But the reason you know Auriemma and Mulkey is because they're not likable people. They're different. Now, Auriemma is just a Yankee that is unlikable and wants to be unlikable. He does not want you to like him. Mulkey, I don't know if she wants you to like her or not. She's just like the grandmother that gets on to everybody's kids. Like, she's my grandmom, so she can get on to me. But if you're in my sphere, she's going to get on to you too, because she's the angry grandmother.
See, I like it. I mean, I'm in a business that loves entertainment. And I don't like coaches that are just,
Oh, I'm with you. I don't like the
cutter.
I mean, we
Kiffin and Mulkey and Will Wade. They'll speak your mind. The bigger story to me here, Brownie, isn't their personalities or anything. It's the money that LSU is spending. And Pete Thamel, he says, a back of the napkin tally on LSU's big ticket spending spree since late October. Now, this is since late October. This is when they fired Brian Kelly. And basically, the governor of Louisiana said LSU was broke.
Yeah, we ain't paying these big buyouts again. We, all those things.
They've got $72 million. $72 million in dead money, depending on the Wade NC State buyout terms. Brian Kelly's buyout is $54 million. Lane Kiffin buyout from Ole Miss is only $3 million. Matt McMahon's buyout is $8 million. Will Wade's buyout is $5.3 million. It drops to $3 million on April 1st, probably getting negotiated. So that's $72 million just in buyout money since late October. That hits you pretty hard right there. That's Jimbo Fisher buyout money right there. $72 million.
And that's only, I think, if I remember reading his calculations correctly, that's only top line buyout. That is not considering that he doesn't know what assistant coaches might have gotten and things like that.
That is just the head coaches.
Yeah.
Now the contracts. $91 million to Lane Kiffin, $30 million to Will Wade. Details aren't released. The football roster projects at $40 million in NIL spending.
Yep.
$40 million. I'll say that again. And the basketball investment will inevitably increase as well, which reportedly is going to be north of $12 million for basketball NIL. That is a boatload of money
it really
that
is.
LSU is spending.
It really is. And if I'm an LSU fan, I am so excited about this because we're in the game and we're playing it big. I do wonder where the money's coming from. Like, I mean, how all of a sudden has LSU found all of this money to buy out all these contracts and pay all these coaches and fund all this NIL? Like, if I'm Brian Kelly, I'm probably wondering, where was this when I was there? If I'm Matt McMahon, I'm certainly wondering where was this when I was there? Like, could I have won with this kind of commitment to NIL? I could have if I'm Matt McMahon. That's what I'm thinking right now because everybody says that guy's a good basketball coach.
Yes.
Like everybody you talked to, like the guy can coach. He just didn't have the backing.
He recruited and kept John Morant at Murray State.
That's right. Yeah. I mean, everybody's like, this guy knows what he's doing. He just didn't have the financial resources to do it. And I am baffled that they are throwing money around like this. And it is a win now. It is a win now attitude. But you're right. When you've got those three coaches, those are disliked coaches, but primarily disliked because of their bluster and because of the fact that they win. It's hard to be disliked and be a loser. So that's the one thing. If I'm an LSU fan, I'm like, hate my coaches all you want. As long as we're winning, I don't care. But it is remarkable to see the type of money they're throwing around. Just off the top of my head, I can think of teams that maybe have had a duo of hated coaches, but I can't think of a team that has had three. And you got to determine, like once you get past football and basketball, most coaches are pretty unknown. Like I just gave you the exercise, and I had to stretch to remember the old boy's name at Texas, who was my number 5, and I got 5 coaches out in women's basketball. That's the best I can do right there. So. It's hard to have 3 hated coaches because it's hard to have 3 coaches that people even know their names. And LSU's at least done that.
Yeah.
Wait, I mean, it's.
What do you think of him going back?
I don't know. I mean, like
70-23 at McNeese and NC State. So he won a lot after he left. But I think when he left, he left them with NCAA sanctions and a show cause.
Who, LSU?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. No. He left them in a terrible situation. But
like part of the reason McMahon struggled is what he left behind at LSU.
But I think a lot of LSU fans look back now and say, well, wait a minute. Kansas stuck with Bill Self for the exact same stuff, and Bill Self's flourishing. Well, I mean, he may retire soon, but you get my point, right?
Yep.
He's flourishing. Like they stood right by him. So I think LSU fans look back on it now and say, we should have stuck by the guy. Like, we should have let him coach out of this hole like Kansas did with Bill Self. And that's why he's back at LSU. What I think about the hire, I mean, it's It's a fascinating hire. The guy can obviously coach. He's won everywhere he's been. I do not want to hear him complain about players leaving in the transfer portal, though. After what you did at NC State, Will Wade can never talk about the loyalty of players and transfer portal.
All right, Bruce Pearl's going to join us at 11:30. Brian Passing at 11 o'clock. That's still to come in the final hour, hour 3, if you're listening to us on Apple or Spotify podcast after the live show. But live show, 11 Central, 11:30, part of hour 3. Passing from Chicago, Bruce Pearl on his way back into the Turner Studios for day 2 of his Sweet 16 coverage. We'll talk to Bruce coming up later in the show today. Before we get to our 4 downs right now, I do want to bring up our friends at Walk-Ons, a great place to go enjoy the Sweet 16 action today. Great locations, both in Hoover, Stadium Trace, Tattersall Park on Highway 280, and, of course, the location out in Trustful. 3 great area walk-on locations. The Sports Bistro there, unbelievable food. The bone-in chicken wings and all the sauces they have. And they got a peach flavor sauce right now, just this time of year, limited time only. That is to die for. It is so, so good. And you can get that as you watch the games tonight. The burgers are good. The boneless wings, if you want those. The great Cajun cuisine. It's all right there with our friends at Walk-Ons at 3 great locations, Trustful, Highway 280, and Stadium Trace. And our friends at Central Alabama Asphalt brings us 4 downs.
That's every single day they bring you the 4 downs, and every single time you're out there on the road and you see one of those construction sites, you got to slow down, you got to move over, and those guys are out there working hard, laying the asphalt. There's a good chance in the state of Alabama you're seeing Central Alabama Asphalt and Construction. They are whom the major state of Alabama jobs, the federal government jobs, and the municipal roadways trust. They trust Central Alabama Asphalt and Construction. So you know you can trust them. And you might say, well, if they're doing big jobs like that, my job is too small for them. No. They have an entire division that is dedicated to driveways and parking pads and parking lots for things like stores and churches and community centers. Same crews, same quality, same no excuse standards, no matter how big or small the job. For an estimate, 205-349-0910, 205-349-0910, or centralalabamaasphalt.com. Do you have 4 you're passionate about?
Tyler has the 4 downs. Today.
Oh, today's Friday.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, but we
First
yesterday.
down.
Yesterday I did have 4. I was passionate.
Okay, my bad. Can I add a 5th down though afterwards? Because I thought you had 4 and I was going to suggest one, but I want to hear Tyler's. Go, Tyler.
Alrighty. So what's the most amount of food you've ever eaten in one sitting? Because I think after the tournament, I know what mine will be.
Yeah, you're about to have 9, 9, and 9 or whatever it is.
I had no problem eating 12 Crystals after a steak dinner to pay off a steak bet one time.
That was pretty remarkable.
I went to local steakhouse, had
slide in and slide out.
I had a iceberg. What's it called?
No, you had a wedge.
A wedge.
Yep.
Had a wedge salad. Then I had a bone-in ribeye.
A couple of glasses of wine.
2 glasses of wine.
Sides, whatever sides we had. You partook in those.
Some potatoes, some mac and cheese.
Yep.
Didn't get dessert. And then when I was done, I was like, I could eat that again. And LT was like, no way you can. And we didn't have time because I was helping with trivia that night. So I went to Odie's, and he said, and I said I could eat a bag of Crystals with cheese. And he said, if you do that, I'll wipe off another steak. 12 Crystals cheese on stage after eating that steak dinner. No problem at all.
Wow.
Cool.
No problem at all.
I mean, it's got to be a Thanksgiving. I mean, you eat so much on Thanksgiving. I don't have a specific Thanksgiving in mind.
I ate 6 orders of pancakes with bacon from IHOP. Large stacks.
Yep.
6 large stacks in the course of 1 hour on the show one time.
When I was in high school, it was not uncommon for us to go through McDonald's and get the 40 count McNuggets and eat all 40 of those. That was not uncommon.
Yeah.
Yeah, my brother said him and his college buddies used to do the 50. They would go on sale occasionally for $9.99. The 50 count chicken McNugget. Yeah.
You are getting my text, right?
I am getting your text, Jim.
Okay, just checking. Let's do second down.
Second down.
Yesterday, Steven Tyler of Aerosmith turned 78. Who's your favorite lead singer of any band?
I don't know. That's a tough one.
Well, I mean,
you just go your favorite band.
I mean, different times. I mean, like there was a moment in the '90s. I loved Darius Rucker.
Yeah.
Not so much anymore. The girl that's in charge of Paramore. I enjoy her. I enjoy her. What's her name?
Tyler?
Haley Williams.
How about Tyler knowing that name?
She's fantastic. So I mean, too many to name. I like music too much. Too many to name.
God, I don't know, man.
Probably
for me,
because
it'd be Chris Cornell. Soundgarden's never been my all-time favorite band, but Chris Cornell's voice is incredible.
How about if I go off the board a little bit? Randy Owen, Alabama.
It's pretty good.
Yeah, he's pretty good.
I love the Chris Cornell answer. Also like Audio Slave.
Oh, yeah. Good.
Landmine Believer was a good one. Steve Perry. Journey with Steve Perry was just, I know Arnel Pineda is the old boy from the Philippines, copies him, but when you had actual Steve Perry, that was crazy. Crazy good.
Yeah, all those good answers.
Yeah.
Let's do third down.
Third down.
So this morning, I had a bit of an apartment issue. Water coming down from the ceiling into my kitchen. And my maintenance guy said he would be there in a few minutes because he was on property. It took him an hour and a half to get to my apartment.
It's a few minutes.
Yeah, so obviously 90 is not a few. So what would you guys consider a few minutes? What's the acceptable range?
3. Few has always been 3 to me.
I agree.
Yeah. Hand me a few of those, you give me 3.
Yeah. A few is 3 to 9.
Yeah, 3 to 9. When we're talking minutes, 3 is very specific. I would say if I'm going to be there in a few minutes, it's 10 minutes or less.
I was going to say 10 or less.
Yeah, 10 minutes or less would be a few minutes.
Otherwise, you need to specify.
Yeah, after that, it's 15, 20, 30, whatever the case may be.
A few of M&Ms is a handful.
Yeah, it's a handful.
But in minutes, I would say 3 to 9.
Yeah, 3. Anything less than 10 is a few minutes.
Yeah, the proper terminology, I'll be there as soon as I can get there.
There you go. I would have liked that one better.
Yeah, you're in an emergency. That's going to be top of my list as soon as I can get there.
Yeah, like if it was regular maintenance hours, then I wouldn't have expected them till later this afternoon. But this is like the after hours emergency guy.
That's right, yeah.
Who said he was already on property.
Got lost.
Yeah, but I mean, who knows what the other emergency was, right? So he's got to finish that emergency before he gets there. So a little grace for our emergency workers out there.
You're assuming there was another emergency.
That's right. He was
I saw this dude just doing laps around the apartment complex and never getting out of his truck.
Fourth down.
White Men Can't Jump turns 34 years old today. So what's your favorite basketball movie that isn't Hoosiers?
Hoosiers. Not Hoosiers. White Man Can't Jump I liked. I didn't love it. It was huge when I was in high school, obviously. What? It turned what today?
34.
34. Yeah, that's high school.
Got Teen Wolf. Air Bud.
Yeah, Air Bud. I was going to throw that in there. Coach Carter's pretty good.
No, I know Blue Chips.
Good pull.
Blue Chips. Nick Nolte.
Coach Carter would be my favorite. I remember we saw that as a middle school basketball team when it came out.
Yeah, I'm going to go Blue Chips. Hoosiers is the actual answer. I'm glad you took that off the board for a reason, but I will go Blue Chips for mine.
I'm sorry, I was doing something else here on the phone. What was the question?
Favorite basketball movie of all time?
That isn't Hoosiers.
That isn't Hoosiers.
That isn't Hoosiers. Hoosiers is it, so I'd go Teen Wolf.
All right, cool.
Ooh, Royal Payne, does Fletch count? He played basketball for the Lakers. I wouldn't call it a basketball movie, though.
Yeah, that's not a basketball movie, but I like the
He did play for the Lakers,
there.
yeah. All right, that is 4 downs presented by Central Alabama Asphalt and Construction. You want my 5th down?
I would love your 5th down.
5th down on the fly. I thought about this watching last night's games. Less to show for a great coaching career, Mark Few or Kelvin Sampson?
Despite the change in the college football playoffs, I'm still going to say that winning the college basketball is still harder at this point.
This should show you. What I'm asking you should show you that, because Mark Few and Kelvin Sampson are fantastic coaches, and neither of them have been able to do it.
So
they've had every opportunity.
But the way you phrased it is, say it again, how you
less to show for an incredible career, Mark Few or Kelvin Sampson?
Both of them. I
mean, Few's got a million conference championships, but it was an easier conference.
Yeah,
than
but
Sampson.
I don't like the less to show part because they've gone to championship games. They've gone to Final Fours.
But neither one of them have raised the trophy.
They haven't.
That's what you're ultimately judged by.
There's only one of those every year.
Yeah, I know, and it's hard to get it.
I would say in that situation, Kelvin Sampson, because of Oklahoma, Indiana, and Houston, is different than Gonzaga.
Yeah. I mean, as Tyler says, Few took Gonzaga from a 13 seed to a perennial contender. They've had great careers. I'm not saying they haven't had great careers.
Yeah. But the way you phrase the question, and I know we get so caught up in wording and stuff nowadays, but the way you phrase it, you make it sound like both of them underachieved in some way, and that's not the case at all.
Great. Okay. I'll phrase it a positive way. This is as positive as I could be with it, I guess. Better career to have not won a championship, Kelvin Sampson so I made it, they did better, but they still didn't win a championship.
Best coach to never win a national championship.
Is it Kelvin Sampson or Mark Few? I think I would go Sampson.
I still think I would go Kelvin Sampson.
Yeah. I mean, Few has been tremendous, though, but I think I would have to go Kelvin Sampson. And he's done it. The thing about Few is he's always done it at Gonzaga. Not to say if he got another good job. Like if North Carolina tomorrow announced Mark Few is going to probably win a national championship at North Carolina. I believe that. But he's done it at Gonzaga. Sampson has been successful everywhere he's been. Oklahoma, Indiana. He revived Houston. Like, we forget how crappy Houston had gotten before he got there.
That's right. But it's like with Bruce, or when Bruce was at Auburn, or with Nate Oats at Alabama, degree of difficulty of the job you've got, what he took over at Gonzaga to turn it into what he did. He had a couple of teams that at certain points of the year probably were the best teams in the country.
Yeah.
Just couldn't win the tournament. And the same for Kelvin. When he took over Houston, that was, wasn't Clyde Drexel, Elijah wants Houston anymore.
Nope.
They had become middle of the pack of, in the same conference with UAB.
Yeah. I mean, they had fallen out of a major conference even.
So, but I'm still going to go Kelvin Sampson because he had the Indiana job too. He had the Oklahoma job. So I'd still go Sampson.
Right.
Even when you spin the positive side of it all. Brian Passink is next. Big day for Alabama basketball. Just to be back in the Sweet 16 is sweet. To get to another Elite Eight would be massive. But this time around, it will take a massive upset to get there. Alabama double-digit underdog to the Wolverines tonight. Brian Passink joins us from Chicago, coming up on the other side. And then Bruce Pearl joins us at 11:30, scheduled to be with us. Brought to you by our friends at Michelson Laser Vision. Tell us about Michelson.
969-8100, MichelsonLaserVision.com. All you have to do is hit that website or make a call and get Amy to schedule a risk-free evaluation for you. You go in, get evaluated, see if LASIK surgery is right for you. Could improve your vision for the rest of your life. MichelsonLaserVision.com. 969-8100, MichelsonLaserVision.com.
And our friends at Talladega Superspeedway ready to go racing again with the Jack Links 500 Sunday, April the 26th. Buy your tickets right now for the Jack Links 500 by going TalladagaSuperspeedway.com. Just visit the website, TalladagaSuperspeedway.com, or call 877-GO-TO-DEGA. And don't forget to add on to your experience. Get the most immersive garage experience in NASCAR, featuring access to the NASCAR Cup Series Garage Bay viewing areas, pre-race ceremonies, the driver and crew chief Q&A, and your microphone's still on there. Mobile One Victory Lane, and so much more. It's all right there at TalladagaSuperspeedway.com. TalladagaSuperspeedway.com. Jack Links 500, Sunday, April the 26th. Back in a moment.
Follow Scott Forrester on Twitter at Scott Forrester TV.
I'm attorney Alexander Shinar, Alabama born, Alabama raised, and ready to fight for your rights. I have one of the largest firms in Alabama, and we are here to help you get the compensation you deserve. Call me, Alabama, 323-1000.
No representation is made that the quality of legal services being performed is greater than those of other lawyers.
Sterling and the fine folks at Champy's Chicken on Highway 119 in Alabaster want to welcome you in for a great lunch or dinner starting at 11 a.m. every day. Chicken that's brined overnight and cooked to order, and the taste of the Delta with those Delta recipe tamales. Champy's is perfect for all your tailgating needs this football season. You can also choose Champy's for your next party, wedding, or birthday. Great food, great people. Champy's Chicken on Highway 119 in Alabaster, and everything online at champyschicken.com.
At Central State Bank, we are large enough to serve you and small enough to know you. Manage your money with ease, whether it's mobile banking, hassle-free checking, competitive loans, business solutions, or personalized financial advice. We're your hometown bank with big-time service. Visit us today and experience banking made simple, because at Central State Bank, you come first.
Member FDIC.
Birmingham's fastest party returns to Barber Motorsports Park March 27th through 29th. Medical Properties Trust presents the Children's of Alabama Indy Grand Prix, powered by AmFirst Experience. 3 days of high-speed action, featuring the fastest drivers in the world from the IndyCar Series. Enjoy the Kids Zone, food trucks, beer garden, fan zone, and more. The Children's of Alabama Indy Grand Prix. Kids 15 and under get in free. Get your tickets now.
Get all your favorite Next Round gear all in one place. NextRound.store. From our Next Round hats to the logo tees to the all-time best-selling Y'all Can Have the Rest shirt. You can look your best by shopping with us at NextRound.store. Take the next round anywhere with NextRound.store. Storm season is here. Make sure you have a plan of action in place right now. Greg from Pell City and Storm Restoration Roofing should be your first call when storms hit. Insurance companies love working with Storm Restoration Roofing because of Greg Nelson's name and reputation in the industry. When storms hit, call Greg Nelson. He's local, 205-542-3531. He's the home of the free no-cost roof inspection. Greg from Pell City on Facebook, 205-542-3531. It's Storm Restoration Roofing.
Hey, Lance Taylor from the Next Round to tell you about one of our favorite places for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. That is Hamburger Heaven since 1982. Hamburger Heaven has been serving Birmingham's best hamburgers, cheeseburgers, French fries, hand-spun milkshakes, and sandwiches made fresh to order. All of their ingredients are fresh and prepared daily. This includes their beef, always fresh, never frozen, hand-pattied each and every day. For breakfast, lunch, or dinner, visit any of the 4 locations, Highway 280, Irondale, Gardendale, and Homewood.
Hey, let me tell you about our friends at Urology Centers of Alabama. Compassionate and comprehensive urological care with 35 physicians, 17 locations across Alabama. Their patient-centered approach to all of your urological needs. Remember, they've got that new men's health center. It is beautiful, helping men with a wide range of sensitive male issues in a comfortable environment. You can always go online, visit urologycentersalabama.com, schedule an appointment with one of their many urologists today.
Ain't no party like a Dega party. The noise, the chaos, the will to survive. The biggest, boldest, brashest, fastest, and most intimidating track in all of NASCAR. Only one place calls that home. At Talladega, anything can happen. And at this super speedway, everything usually does.
Hell yeah, boys!
NASCAR weekend at Talladega Superspeedway, April 24th through the 26th. Get your tickets now at TalladegaSuperspeedway.com.
Jim Dunaway, Lance Taylor, Ryan Brown. Live from the Birmingham Racecourse Casino Studios, the Next Round, presented by Bud Light, is on now.
One of our busiest shows in a while because so much is going on. I just love it. That includes Alabama still playing basketball tonight in the Sweet 16 in Chicago. Champy's Chicken brings you the final hour of the show. Champy's Chicken, thank God Champy's Chicken exists on Highway 119 in Alabaster, because if not, I'd be missing this trip to Chicago even more with my buddy Passink and the whole crew out there eating great food without me. But at least I've got Champy's to go by there and get a Southern meal, Southern fried chicken, Mississippi Delta recipe tamales, all the in-house made sides and dessert. Go by and see Sterling and the crew at Champy's Chicken, champyschicken.com, Highway 119 in Alabaster. Passink and Brown, you know this, when those boys from the Crimson Tide Sports Network go on the road.
They know they're good restaurants.
Stipe's able to dial up some unbelievable menus. My takeaway from Cleveland and Newark last year on the run to the Elite Eight was the food. And Passink has been doing nothing but blowing up my phone with one great meal after another. I thought we were friends, Passink.
Make it hurt, Brian.
No, Jim, we don't want you to miss anymore. So, we got to inflict a little pain. We have done our part. Now it's time for Nate and the fellas to come to play tonight. But for the last few days here in Chicago. We have eaten really well. We've had a great time. And this is an awesome time of year, and glad that the Crimson Tide is still playing.
Yeah, I would tell you that nobody sent out more Roger Hoover resumes this summer than Jim Dunaway did. So, because I wanted to be there eating with you as well. I love Roger, though.
to be clear.
Yeah, to be clear.
I will point out. I will point out also. Passing joined us last Friday. Palm trees behind him. Poolside. They don't have a pool at this hotel. You can't be poolside at this hotel.
I don't want anybody to feel sorry for me, but my tan is fading. We were out by the pool. For a couple of days there in Tampa, and it's 34 degrees outside here in Chicago.
Yeah,
so
a little different world.
We're not getting spring weather anymore, but happy to be in Chicago. It's a great town. Love Chicago, but very different setting than what we had last week. I'm bundled up in my sweatshirt and 30-something degrees outside. So no complaints, but yeah, a little different.
Yeah, Final Four sweatshirt that you're wearing there.
Right. I like that.
Very interesting. The path seems to be a tad tougher on this trip to the Final Four with Michigan tonight. Alabama's already won in this building once as a former shooter. Having come into the United Center, won a game already. Does that help you at all, know that you've got one positive memory from this team this year already in this building?
Yeah, first of all, let me correct you. I'm current shooter still.
Current shooter, okay. Yeah.
Just want to clarify that.
That's the black hole. The ball never comes back out when it goes to passing. Yes.
Can't do anything else, but I can still shoot. But no, I do think that you can take something away from that. Alabama has had some great victories on the season. When you have the number one strength of schedule in the country, you get a lot of opportunities. And when you look back, some of this team's best wins have been away from home. The game at Madison Square Garden against a top 5 team in St. John's, and of course here against Illinois, 2 teams that are still playing here at the United Center. And technically this wasn't a true road game, but having been there and sitting courtside, I can tell you that was a road game. And it'll be like that tonight. Michigan, the campus is not too far away. I think their alumni base here in Chicago is more alumni here than anywhere. So it's going to be a pro-Michigan crowd, but I'm not sure that that's the worst thing in the world, because Alabama has had success in this building away from home, and most importantly is playing its best basketball of the year. What we saw in Tampa, so impressive. Without Aden Holloway, you wondered how they were going to react. Well, we know how they were going to react, and it was impressive. Got it done on both ends of the floor, shot it extremely well against Texas Tech, but the defense in both of those games, outstanding, and we're going to need to see a similar, if not better, effort tonight.
And we brought that up earlier because, I mean, Holloway, his strength isn't defense. I mean, he's an excellent offensive player, but you do get a little better defensively when you've got Reitzel and Millett in there. Now, they gave you the offense you also need against Texas Tech. The question will be, can they do that again? Because, look, you know me passing. I don't know any basketball, but am I right about that? You're at least stepping up defensively when it is Reitzel or Millett instead of Holloway.
Yeah, and listen, I love Aden Holloway, and his development as a player on both ends of the floor has been impressive. He's become a better defender. Is he as good a defender as Latrell Reitzel and Houston Millett? Probably not. I think a lot of that has to do with size. And when Aden went out, you did feel like you could gain in some areas. And I think defense and rebounding has been a couple of areas that this team has gotten a little better. Now, with Aden, they were trending in that direction. Nate Oats teams typically get better this time of year, and they typically get better on the defensive end. We saw that a couple of years ago when Alabama made the run to the Final Four. That was not a good defensive team throughout the regular season. Late in the season, started to get a little better, and then the NCAA tournament really flipped the switch and became a pretty good defensive team. This team has been solid defensively, a little bit up and down, but trending in the right direction. And the performance of both Houston Millett and Latrell Reitzel, so impressive against Texas Tech. I mean, you can take their offensive numbers that were through the roof. I think both of them hit 5 and 6 threes in that game. but their defense was better than their offense. That was a Texas Tech team that may be the best three-point shooting team in the country. They don't miss open threes. They still haven't missed open threes. They didn't have any open threes against Alabama. Their defense was spectacular. Very different looking Michigan team than what we saw in the first couple of rounds. They do it a little more with the front line than the back court. So Alabama's front court is going to have to be really good on both ends of the floor tonight. But if you continue to get what you got out of Houston Millette and Latrell Wrightsell on both ends of the floor, Alabama's going to have a great chance tonight.
Well, more of our conversation with Brian Passink, who's in Chicago for Alabama's Sweet 16 game, being brought to you by our friends at New York Butcher Shop. Two great locations, Cahaba Heights and Greystone. Get by there and try all their great certified Angus beef. It's a butcher shop. They'll cut it for you specifically how you want it right there. A lot of great pre-made meals as well. Great place for a New York-style sandwich right there as well. It's our friends at New York Butcher Shop, Cahaba Heights and Greystone. A lot of conversation about Yaxel Lendeborg, the former UAB player, yesterday with all the media in the interviews. Nate Oats said they dipped their toe in the recruitment of Yax and then backed off because they saw the price tag. Dusty May joked about it, saying let Yax be motivated however he wants to. Yax seems to think Alabama didn't recruit him. What kind of problem does Yaxel Lendeborg pose? Because he seems to be pretty big inside, but he has an outside game too.
Yeah, he's a great player. And those of us in Birmingham have known that for a couple of years. He has done it on a bigger stage, obviously, with Michigan, and he's a National Player of the Year candidate. He does so many things. First of all, he's huge, 6'9", 240, can play inside and out. And does it defensively as well. I mean, he's a complete player. I think he's going to be a great NBA player after this season, but he presents a ton of problems. I mean, he is a big reason why Michigan right now is the favorite to win the national championship, because he gives them a different look. He can get to the rim. He can rebound the ball, knock down threes. He's one of those players that you love, and that he takes what the defense gives him, because there's not many flaws in his game. He's also a terrific defender, defends the three-point line. Typically, when you have a guy at that size, Alabama can spread you out with 5 shooters, and you have a 6'9", 6'10" guy that's going to have to guard a smaller player and stay with him at the three-point line. Yax can do that. And this Michigan team's so good on both ends of the floor. And I think one of the reasons why people are projecting that Michigan will ultimately win the national championship is because of him and what they do on both ends of the floor. Their offensive numbers are spectacular. Their defensive numbers are even better. So they're a terrific team led by a great player in Yaxel Lendeborg.
If you had to guess, who gets the first crack at him defensively for Alabama?
Well, it's a great question. I think you're going to see multiple guys. I mean, if you go small, he can take you down on the low block. If you go big, he typically has a quickness advantage. So I think you're going to see several different guys get
Can I throw one at you, Brian? Tell me what you think. How about Jemison, man? I think he's been playing great.
Yeah, and one of those freshmen that is getting better as we've gotten into postseason play. Yeah, I think he'll get a crack at him. I think you give him maybe a different look with Amari Allen. Taylor Ball-Bowen doesn't have the bulk, but does have the quickness and the quick jumping ability. I don't think you're going to see a steady dose of one guy on him unless that one guy has a lot of success. So it's going to be by committee. And, Jim, I agree with you. I would say that's where you start because size-wise and quickness, lateral movement, strength, London Jemison is just a freshman, but he has all those attributes. And by the way, man, excited about his future. I mean, he's coming along late in his freshman year. I think he's got a great future. Can ultimately be maybe a player like Lendeborg. So that's probably where you start, but I would anticipate several guys getting a crack at him.
When is shoot around? Have they already had it this morning, or are you about to go to it, or?
No, it's a little later. And man, you remember, Jim, the NCAA is a little different. I mean, they're pretty strict on, not letting too many people watch practice, watch shoot around. During the year, Nate and his staff's great about letting us hang around and watch practice, watch shoot around. The NCAA, they do things a little differently.
Yeah,
we'll say, and so I'm going to skip shoot around.
Okay, I was just going to say, just mention to Nate that Dunaway said maybe Jemison on Yaks.
Yeah, Nate would go, God, I didn't think about that.
Yeah, I'm good. I tell you, I'm just going to go ahead and text him.
Okay,
so why wait to shoot around?
I don't want to forget that.
Why wait to shoot around when I can text him?
I mean, it looks like you can't see in our shop, but it looks like you have a dry erase board on your wall, like you're drawing up plays there on the side of your bed there in the hotel room. So,
I will say before I ask this question, everybody in this conversation loves Wimp Sanderson, okay? Everybody in this conversation. We think the world of Wimp. We love Wimp. So this is not meant as a dig at him. This is a genuine question.
We have to do this every year now?
Not every year, but if I say we are living in the golden age of Alabama basketball right now, a guy that played there, your response to that would be what?
Absolutely. I mean, it was teed up by guys like Wimp Sanderson that this program has proven historically that it could be one of the top programs in the country. Now, Nate has taken it another step where this was one of the best programs in the SEC and all the Sweet 16s. I think, and you guys probably know better than me, I think Alabama went to 6 Sweet 16s under Wimp Sanderson, multiple SEC titles, mostly in the tournament. So Wimp did it in March in a big way. But what we're seeing now is amazing. 4 straight Sweet 16s, 5 out of the last 6 straight NCAA tournaments, and not slowing down anytime soon. Alabama has become a national brand under Nate Oats, and you see it with recruiting. You see it with becoming a fixture in March Madness, the Sweet 16, with a chance to advance. So, yeah, these are special times, and Alabama fans, I think, really understand that and appreciate it.
And you see it too. I mean, this is, we don't spend a ton of time talking about this, but the minute Kentucky comes open, when Calipari leaves, the minute North Carolina comes open, when Hubert Davis leaves, among the first names mentioned are Nate Oats. That is where you want to be as a program. When jobs like that come open and your coach is desired and you keep him, that's the key. You keep him, but that's where you want to be as a program.
No doubt about it. I mean, put that in the category of a great problem to have when you've got the best of the best historically in the sport that wants your coach. That is where you want to be. I mean, I know that when Nate's name comes up at Kentucky or now with North Carolina, that makes fans nervous, and I get it. And when you flip that over to the player side, when you have a player that's deciding whether or not they're going to go pro, listen, all great problems to have. I want Nate to stay forever. I want our players to stay for as long as possible. But when you're having success, when you have great players, great coaches, they're going to get opportunities. In Nate's case, we hope he sticks around. I have no reason to believe that won't be the case. Thankful for Greg Burns, the administration, that he has a great contract. He spoke, Nate did yesterday, in such a honest and humble way about where he is contractually and how much he loves being at Alabama. So I'm confident in that. I'd be surprised if he isn't our coach for the foreseeable future, and I'm thankful for it. But, on the players' side, you have guys that have decisions to make every year. There was a time where nobody was coming after our coach. Nobody was asking guys if they're going to be one and done or go pro. When you have success, this is where your program is. And I'm thankful for it, and could not be happier with where this program is and what Nate's doing.
All right, he is Brian Passink, along with Chris Stewart, Tom Stipe, Roger Hoover, the entire gang, live from the United Center up in Chicago with Alabama and Michigan, and yet another Alabama trip to the Sweet 16 tonight. Can the Tide pull off the upset? You'll hear those guys all night right there on the Crimson Tide Sports Network. Enjoy the game, Brian. As always, we appreciate the time. Let's do it again next Friday, talk Final Four. You want to do that?
Oh, man, count me in. I hope we're talking Bama hoops next week. Always enjoy it, guys. Appreciate y'all having me.
All right, buddy. Thank you. Brian with us.
He'll
from
have to get
Chicago.
a new sweatshirt.
New sweatshirt. New Final Four sweatshirt. That's right. New gear. Thanks, Brian. Take care. Brian Passing with us on the Alexander Shinara Trial Attorneys Hotline.
And the show being brought to you by our friends at Odie's. If you'll tell us about Odie's, my friend.
I will tell you about Odie's. Great place to watch the game tonight. I've been in Odie's for many a big game, and it is a fun atmosphere. Either the Crestline Village location in Mountain Brook, which is the OG, or the brand new one right there in Edgewood. In Homewood, Odie's Tavern, a great place to go enjoy Rodney's cheeseburgers, the great wings, the south of the border roll-up, the big cup cocktails, the draft beer, all right there at Odie's. Two great locations, Homewood and Mountain Brook, for the tournament games.
And our friends at CPAP Plus. If you're looking for the best CPAP gear with personal service you can trust, visit CPAP Plus with 3 convenient locations: Pelham, Highway 280, and Trussville. And for the new customers out there, they got something special just for you. You get a $20 credit towards the purchase of a new mask system, maybe a CPAP cleaner, or even a travel CPAP machine, which is so important in the summer when you're heading to the beach or the lake. Stop by today at CPAP Plus, where you'll find the best service and equipment all in stock and ready for you with hundreds of 5-star Google reviews. Trust CPAP Plus for all of your CPAP needs. CPAP Plus, where every night matters. The O'Neill brothers and the fine folks right there at CPAP Plus, Pelham, Highway 280, and Trussville. That basketball game is so important for Alabama this time of year, but just getting to the Sweet 16 sort of makes it a successful season. Now anything after this seems to be gravy.
There'll come a time, though, where this is just the bare minimum, and maybe we're there. I don't know. I don't think Alabama fans are quite there yet. But there'll come a time where just making the Sweet 16, okay, that's what you're supposed to do, Nate. Now the season starts. And
well, I think we're sort of right there right now.
And maybe we are. I don't know if Alabama fans are there or not. I get the feeling that with the Holloway news dropping the week of the first round, I think Alabama fans appreciate the fact that he was able to navigate that and get this team to the Sweet 16. So this one does feel a little different. And then you're running up against what many think, either Michigan or Arizona are easily the 2 best teams in basketball. And then you couple that with the North Carolina job coming open in that time, and Nate Oats and what he said, that we covered in the first segment of the show about North Carolina and all of that. I think this one feels a little bit different, but the more Nate Oats goes to the Sweet 16, it kind of became that way with Wimp. I mean, we just talked about Wimp. Wimp went to Sweet 16s, and it was kind of like,
we can't get past the Sweet 16.
Can't get past the Sweet 16. And, boy, I tell you, after Wimp left,
you would have died to go to the Sweet 16 every year.
There was a dark period where Alabama didn't sniff the Sweet 16, and all of a sudden Nate Oats gets them back to that.
And then it was not sniffing the NCAA tournament.
Yeah, I mean, there were times where you were playing in the NIT or you were sitting at home even. So, I mean, it's a different world. There's no doubt it's the golden era of Alabama basketball, and that is a testament to Nate Oats, and you hope it lasts as long as it can.
One thing away from basketball before we get back to basketball, Bruce Pearl coming up in a second. The NFL made the announcement this week that they will start the season this upcoming year on a Wednesday night, September 9th on NBC. Yet to be named team in Seattle against the Seahawks as they raise the banner on a Wednesday night. And then Thursday, the traditional Thursday start, will be the game in Melbourne in Australia between the 49ers and the Rams, which will start at 10:35 a.m. Melbourne time.
Of course.
So if you're the Rams and the Niners, don't spend time adjusting your clock. It'll be 7:30 Central Time, 8:30 Eastern. So don't adjust your time, because if not, it's a 10:30 breakfast game.
So it's a 10:30 Friday game in Melbourne.
Yep.
And a 7 o'clock primetime Thursday game. At least we're not fitting a square peg in a round hole by doing this. I read that the NFL was content to move that game to Friday rather than Wednesday, but they were blocked by that law that you one time brought up that we didn't know existed.
Yeah, the 1961 Score Act.
Yeah, the score, whatever it is, that keeps the NFL off of Friday nights until after Thanksgiving, right? I think Black Friday is the first one by law they can play because of the college football season.
That's right.
So they were going to try to play that on Friday, I think, but I mean, I got that's such a fun week of football for us because the college game kicks off on Saturday, or full college game, week 1 on Saturday. You get the Sunday night game that is always the best one. You get the Labor Day night game. And now you'll only have Tuesday off, and Wednesday night you get the NFL kickoff, Seattle versus whoever Seattle is playing.
Back to basketball, after I remind you, our friends at One Man in a Toolbox perform great handyman services for your home or your commercial properties, all in Birmingham, Tuscaloosa, Montgomery, and the surrounding areas of those 3 big cities. They do regular repairs and maintenance and also small project renovations and updates. Multiple technicians with different skill sets and can tackle most any item in your home. Call for free estimates, 205-823-2111 or onemanandatoolbox.com. Mention the next round, you get $25 discount for the first hour of service. It's all right there at onemanandatoolbox.com. There was an upset last night with Iowa winning. So will there be one upset tonight?
I mean,
do you think?
How much do you consider Tennessee an upset of Iowa State?
Well, betting wise, it's an upset.
It is 3.5. I mean, the big upset will be Alabama beating Michigan.
Well, that's the one you keep going back to. 3.5 Tennessee.
Well, I mean, look at the rest of them.
Michigan State's just a 1.5.
Yeah, it's just a 1.5. It's not an upset. I mean, that's a toss-up game.
St. John is a 6.5-point dog against Duke, and everybody seems to think St. John's going to win that game outright.
I know. That's what Fuhrman said. It was almost like charity. By the way, I don't know if you've caught this. I don't know where Vice Sports is on my YouTube lineup, but I need to go find it. Rick Pitino last year allowed cameras full access into his program, and it is fascinating to watch Rick Pitino cook. And they're showing it right now, obviously, because of the tournament. This is last year's team that bowed out early.
One of the best coaches of all time.
And there's zero doubt about that. Yeah. I mean, in fact, he's the best coach coaching tonight, historically. Historically, the best coach coaching tonight. I really think Hurley, I don't know if you think Hurley's a better coach than Izzo historically. I don't know which one, but Pitino is historically the best coach coaching. The guy's done nothing but win everywhere. This is too tall of a mountain for me. I just don't think Duke's going to put 3 first halves like that in a row. Their first halves have been awful against Siena in round 1, against TCU in round 2. I just cannot see John Shire and Duke doing that in 3 straight games.
They're getting a little healthier, which helps. The time off between this last Sunday and this game probably helped Duke more than any other team that's playing. Maybe Nate Oats for Tennessee, that extra week of rest.
Certainly.
It was needed for him. He was starting to hobble around a little bit, but Duke needed that rest. They're getting closer to being 100%, but that is the sexy upset pick. Nobody picking Alabama tonight.
No, as Fuhrman said, some money has come in on Alabama, but that's point spread money. That's not money line money. I mean, that's people that don't think Michigan is going to run Alabama out of the gym. They think that's too rich of a price. But you're a long way from Alabama. Yeah, I think Fuhrman said some places even have it at 8.5, 8.5, 9, 9.5, wherever you get it, wherever you find it at Calci. It's a long way from that to them outright winning the game. This would be a big NCAA tournament upset.
Pretty cool what the NCAA is doing this year. Now, remember, they're based in Indianapolis, but to have the Final Four, the NIT Final Four, the Division II, and the Division III national championships all going on in one weekend, extended weekend up there. It's pretty cool. The whole basketball universe is up there for just a Thursday through Monday festival of basketball.
And I don't know that there's a city that will appreciate it more than Indianapolis. It's a massive basketball city, and people in that city love that. I'd have to say, if I'm NIT, I'd probably rather be somewhere else.
I don't know, man. You got all the basketball people there.
You do, but that's the problem. It's just another reminder that I'm in the NIT, not the NCAA tournament. So if I were playing in the NIT, I'd really rather it be somewhere else. That would be the one.
But attendance-wise,
it probably helps, and more you'll have more national media. There's a smart move by the NIT, though. They play it there now every year since they're not at Madison Square Garden. They're at Butler Fieldhouse or wherever it is.
Yeah.
Hinkle Fieldhouse, but wherever Butler plays.
By the way, speaking of Butler, friend of the show, Homewood guy, Ronald Norred, has become the head coach at Butler. So from Homewood through his playing days at Butler, back through the high school and college ranks, Ronald Norred now gets the chance to be a head coach at a tough job, yeah. But he's now going to be the head coach at Butler.
He was an NIL guest with us before NIL existed. He used to come on our show all the time.
That's right. Speaking of a guy who used to come on our show all the time, Bruce Pearl, former head coach of the Auburn Tigers, back when before he was the coach of the Auburn Tigers. He was the guy who was a great analyst, and I would dare say as good of an analyst as he is a basketball coach. I would say that.
No, I would agree. Agree.
And now he's back being an analyst again after his retirement. He joins us now. Coach, how you doing, buddy? I came to you too early. Your mic is. Do we have him on? Hold on here.
Coach is trying to get the.
Yeah. Either way, you're fine with that, Coach, right there. Just I need his audio there. Is that on our end or is that Coach's in there?
There we go. We're good now. How you doing, Coach?
We're doing great, guys.
Okay.
Thanks for having me on.
That was on our end there. Man, you've been in the news a lot.
I think he's used to that.
First of all, I want to thank you for jumping on with me. I'm an old school guy, and I was getting asked a lot of questions about last night on the broadcast, your comment, and I was like, I don't know what Bruce is talking about. I want to ask Bruce. So here's Bruce. For those that missed it, you were talking about Hubert Davis being let go at North Carolina. So let's just get right to that. What were you talking about after the Hubert Davis comment, and you got into something that some people may have taken the wrong way? I lost you momentarily there. Nope, that's on my end there. We'll get him back here in just a second.
He turned off his video.
Yeah, that's an accident. We'll work on that. We'll get him back here in a second. So Bruce Pearl, who is with us here, we'll get him back as soon as we can here technically. If you missed it last night, that was Bruce talking about the Hubert Davis firing. I think it's on his end. We'll wait for him to jump back on. And in the meantime, Brownie, why don't you tell us about our friends at A+, and we'll wait on Bruce to hop back on.
Yeah, that's right. A+, that's our guy Brad Bell. When it came time to redo the master bath and the brown house, Brad Bell was the guy that inevitably we kept coming back to. My wife Jennifer scoured the internet looking for the right person for the job. Brad Bell was the guy that we picked after talking to a number of contractors, getting quotes. Brad came and looked at the job, and he did tremendous work. You can see more of his before and afters, alabamabathroommodels.com. That's alabamabathroommodels.com, or 205-422-1758. Brad Bell, alabamabathroommodels.com, 205-422-1758. He's the guy that can handle your job and will do tremendous work. He did it for us. He'll do it for you. alabamabathroommodels.com, or 205-422-1758. Coach is back with us now, so just reset the question real quick.
Coach, I wanted to talk about last night first, and we'll talk about several things, but let's just clear the air on that first.
Yeah, well, guys, thanks for being with me. I'm, being 66 years old, I'm not as technologically savvy. I don't have my managers or my staff here with me to make sure I got everything right. Yeah, last night, and the reaction last night really bothered me. I'll take some ownership for my words, but so here's what happened. We're talking about Hubert Davis. We're talking about North Carolina. We're talking about a storied program. We're talking about a great coach and a great man where good just simply wasn't good enough. And so it led me into a discussion about why the profession is so difficult and why the game has changed, particularly off the court. First of all, on the court, the game is amazing. But there were some in the media that took my comments to say that I was complaining about Auburn's loyalty to me, and nothing could be farther from the truth. That struck a nerve with me, because you can criticize me in a lot of different ways, and I'm a big target, and I get it. But Auburn was loyal to me at a time that others wasn't. I was loyal to Auburn throughout my career. And to suggest by some of the media and challenge me in such a way where, again, bringing back up the challenges that we had with the NCAA, or to talk about the fact that after we won, I got a big contract, and then just some other things about Stephen being hired and my being able to retain that staff that had developed this program to the point where we became nationally competitive, and we still are. Man, that was just a reach, because everybody that heard me knew I was talking about the profession. I was talking about, the challenges with NIL and free agency and having to renegotiate every year with players and there being no loyalty. I had a situation at Tennessee where Tennessee definitely was not loyal to me. And I was loyal to Tennessee. I had opportunities to leave Tennessee on many occasions for bigger money and what perceived better jobs. I didn't. I made a mistake. I took ownership of that mistake. But Tennessee did not have to fire me, and they did. And so there's been some lack of loyalty in my career, and it bothers me because it's one of the things that's made me a successful coach has been the retention of my staff year after year after year, guys that have stayed. My teams. We had a lot of loyal players that could have left and gone for more money, and they didn't, and they stayed. So to make that suggestion, especially from people that know me, that's where I crossed the line. And I am making note who made those statements. You will not see me in public with radio or television or newspaper people that want to get clicks at my expense.
I think it should be noted, like I mentioned this as that story unfolded, people that might not have followed your career like, oh, wait a minute, Bruce Pearl got fired at Auburn. And they're like, no, Bruce Pearl just went to the Final Four, didn't get fired at Auburn. I mean, there was never any, I would assume, Coach, and we've known you a long time, there was never any discussion of anything other than you coaching as long as you wanted to at Auburn, I would imagine. It would have been crazy not to have that discussion.
No, Auburn was great. Jay Jacobs and Dr. Goosh hiring me, and Alan Green and Dr. Leith helping me get through a difficult time, and John Crone and Chris Roberts. My God, couldn't have been any more supportive. The Auburn fan base, the Auburn loyalty. So you cross the line there when you say that Bruce Pearl is accusing Auburn of not being loyal. Now, maybe my words are part of the reason why I got a coaching was in response to a discussion we were having about the fact that North Carolina wasn't loyal to Hubert Davis. That's a big step. I don't mind people on social media taking that step, but I really mind people in the media and people that know me taking that step. So I really appreciate the opportunity to tell the Auburn family once again how much I love them and how loyal I am. Don't you think I was offered jobs to leave Auburn when I didn't? Don't you think it's a possibility that even today I could get back into coaching if I wanted to? I'm not. I'm done with coaching. People don't realize the toll that it took on me over the years. And that was just me personally. It wasn't about my age. Winning became a relief. I had some health issues that were private. My family had some real concerns. The administration understood that I was having some stress and some anxiety that just went beyond the norm. And when I had an opportunity to be able to help John transition this to Stephen and that coaching staff, man, that was an opportunity that I wanted to take at that time.
I know you may not want to get into details, but I know through my reporting 3 different times you were the top candidate at a job that was perceived to be better than Auburn. At one time before your first Final Four run and then right after each Final Four run, you could have left this past year, according to my reporting, Stephen could have gotten a job at Auburn and you could have gone and coached somewhere else at a really good job. So I didn't understand the comments when you made them, the way it blended in, but I knew it wasn't about the loyalty you had to the Auburn program. That's 100%. I want to ask you about, the Outlive and the Pearl Family Foundation. You and Stephen are keeping that going in relation to the Auburn program. I was at that game this year, and the whole family was contributing to making that a successful event again.
Yeah, thank you. My daughter runs the foundation, helps us run the foundation, and every dollar that goes out to a patient with Outlive that's battling cancer. It's amazing how insurance doesn't cover the kind of medications that you need to just stay alive. Or sometimes chemo makes you so sick that you got to miss some work, and all of a sudden there are bills to pay. And so literally every year we've donated about $350,000 a year over the last several years. So well over approaching $2 million just here in the state of Alabama. That program is alive and well at Auburn, and Auburn basketball is going to continue to have that program. And then the Pearl Family Foundation, we're able to raise about $250,000 every year. A lot of it goes to Children's Harbor at Lake Martin for children and families with special needs and special challenges. And, again, every dollar that goes in goes out. And so we are locked into this community. We're tied in. I'm blessed to be an ambassador at Auburn and continue to work for the Auburn family. You guys know I entertained the possibility of running for the United States Senate and represent the great state of Alabama. So, man, you struck a nerve when you talk about my loyalty. And I know the media could say, well, it's what you said. You said part of the reason why you're not coaching is because of a lack of loyalty at North Carolina. And they added the two together. Nah, that's for clicks, and that's a cheap shot. And so I'm so grateful that you guys gave me the opportunity. Look, there's plenty to criticize me for things that I did, things that I do, and stuff I say, but not my loyalty to Auburn or Auburn family's loyalty to me.
Yeah. If I was Steven, I would have chewed your butt out for bringing up the Miami of Ohio thing when I was trying to get into the tournament. I texted Steven. I said, text your dad real quick. Tell him not to talk about Miami of Ohio anymore. It's hurting your chances.
No, 100% not. Let me ask you a question, guys. Is Coach Saban questioned the fact that he loves Alabama football, when he's on the air giving an opinion about who's going to win or who should be in the playoffs or who should be this or that? Do you think they question Coach Saban because of his loyalty to Alabama?
No.
So do you think when Jay Wright was on CBS and they were talking about maybe Villanova not getting in the tournament, do you think he could be objective about whether or not Villanova should or shouldn't?
No.
Well, then why should my integrity be challenged about whether or not Auburn should or shouldn't be a team that could or couldn't have got in the tournament? I personally thought that SMU was the last team in. They won 5 games away from home. They lost in 5 or 6 of the 7 metrics to Auburn, Oklahoma, several other teams. And my job as a journalist was to stake that case. If you take 3 games against teams like Arizona, Michigan, and Purdue, who are all in the Elite Eight and playing for national championships, you take those 3 games off the schedule. Auburn's got plenty of quad 1 wins to be able to get in a tournament, and now all of a sudden you can't talk about just 16 wins. Now you talk about 19 wins. They say play that strength of schedule. Auburn did. And so I just disagreed with that decision. Not because it was Auburn, because that's how I felt. At the end of the day, Oklahoma, Ole Miss, Auburn were teams that easily, now Ole Miss you would have had a stretch because they just didn't win enough games. But I didn't think that Miami of Ohio was one of the 37 best teams that would have been selected at large. I thought they were one of the 37 most deserving. And with the human element, I said many times that I would put Miami of Ohio in the tournament because of the incredible run. Well, what happens is that stuff gets all taken out of context, and that's fine. I will continue to own what I teach and what I preach.
Yeah. Have you found it harder to watch your son coach or coach yourself? Which one's been more difficult?
You know, it's harder during the games, and it's harder probably leading up to it and then right after it. I'm thrilled for the victories. I mean, I can't believe he's beaten 3 national champions, beat Kentucky in his first year. He's got 20 wins in his first year. There's been no Auburn coach in the history of that to ever do that. Nobody's ever won more than 1 NIT game in history, and Steven's done that. And yet I get it. I don't listen to social media much when it comes to the haters. I don't care what the haters say because they're going to hate, and they don't represent Auburn family. They really don't. They're a loud minority. Auburn is very fortunate to have Stephen Pearl and that staff leading their basketball program. And Stephen Pearl and that staff are very fortunate to have that job, but they've earned it. They worked for it. And so, I can't do, the frustrating thing is there's nothing I can do about it. And I'll tell you right now, I wouldn't be doing any better with this group than Steven did. He had no rim protection. Keyshawn Murphy had surgery in the offseason, so he just didn't have that same bounce. Emeka developed a heart condition. We hoped he could contribute a little bit. And we thought Phillip was going to get off the plane and be 6'10", not 6'8". Now, you add those 3 things together, and if any one of those 3 things are different, they got a little bit more rim protection. Now, all of a sudden, Auburn is in a situation where, they'll finish a game or 2 higher, be in the NCAA tournament, and everybody's happy.
Hey, I used to be 6'2" now, Coach. I'm 5'10" and a half. So
shrinking.
I'm shrinking. Brian Cloman. Steven just added him as a general manager. Give me one snippet on Brian Cloman, how important that is to the program.
Well, he'll be as good a general manager as there is in college basketball. I tweeted yesterday that might be the best recruit Steven gets because he's going to bring other dudes. You just watch. I've known Brian for a long time, and Steven has as well. They were friends. They hung out on the road together and talked basketball and talked players and talked life. Brian had done an amazing job at Louisville and worked for a great coach in Pat Kelsey, had been with Pat for a long time. So it kind of felt for Brian like an opportunity. I've done everything I can do here. I think Coach Kelsey had great things to say about him and wishes him well. It's time for him to maybe step up and maybe play a larger role. And you combine Brian with the talents that are currently on that staff, And Stevens built himself a really, really strong staff. Great addition.
Before you go, you know Nate Oats well. You faced him many, many times. What is a path to victory for Alabama tonight against an incredibly difficult opponent?
Yeah, I've always said Nate's one of the best guys I've ever gone up against. It's a real task. It's a real challenge because Michigan's front line is daunting. And so could be a challenge. But if there's a team out there to beat them, it's really Alabama. You look at the team that beat Michigan early in the year, they struggled with it. It was Wisconsin. Wisconsin made 15 threes at Michigan. Wisconsin almost beat them again in the Big Ten tournament. Alabama can shoot them out of this thing. They really can. And what Nate will do is he's gonna make sure that Michigan doesn't get as many easy looks at the rim. He's gonna make Yaxel and some of those other guys, he's gonna tempt them to take perimeter shots, because every time Michigan shoots a three ball, it's a win for Alabama. Long shots, long rebounds, those Alabama guards are gonna chase them down. Inside shots, inside rebounds, that's a problem for Alabama. So Michigan's offense and their decision about whether they settle for the perimeter or just keep pounding that thing inside, do to Alabama what Arizona did to Arkansas. But I'm not sure they're going to, and that's what to watch for.
All right, that's what to watch for. Speaking of loyalty, Coach has never forgotten one thing, that between Tennessee and Auburn, this show kept him a wealthy man. When he made weekly visits on our show back when we were in radio.
We paid him nothing.
No, we paid him a little bit, I think.
Did we ever pay you,
Coach?
I don't think we paid him one penny.
You were on with us every week for 3 years. We had to pay you something, didn't we?
We did not one penny.
And at $50 a pop, my wife appreciated it because every now and then I got to take her out to breakfast. But, no, you're right. There was a loyalty, there was a relationship that existed, and you guys could tell even then that, you know, whether I ever got back into coaching or not, I still love the game. I still love the kids, and I still love making a difference in young people's lives. And, you know, let me tell you something. One thing don't get talked enough. We graduated more players from Auburn during the time that we were there, and that is a testament to Auburn, the student athletes, the athletic administration, and the incredible support staff and the accountability that those kids were held to more than any other program in the SEC. Let some of my critics go do the research on that and see if I was wrong.
All right, see Coach on the TV tonight talking about the games. Coach, thank you very much for the time. Always good to see you and catch up with you.
Hey, if you say something controversial tonight, we're here Monday if you want to come back
on.
I guarantee you I'll say something controversial tonight because I'm going to be authentic and we're going to keep it real. And I would appreciate the fact that, I did not, my own words could lead some that don't know me to make that suggestion. But anybody that does know me, that was a cheap shot.
Yeah.
Thank you, Coach.
Thank you, Coach. Take care.
All right, guys. Thank you.
All right, that is Bruce Pearl with us on the Alexander Shannara Trial Attorneys Hotline. The concept of Auburn not having loyalty just doesn't make sense on the surface. I mean, again, if you know anything about...
Could have left any time he wanted.
Yes, and was at 100% approval rating. I can promise you, the one thing John Cohen wasn't going to do was fire a basketball coach at Auburn in Bruce Pearl. I mean, football has caused athletic directors so many headaches at Auburn over the last decade. The one constant has been, I don't have to worry about buying out a basketball coach that's underperformed.
Yeah.
The last thing they were going to do was be disloyal to Bruce Pearl. So just the fact, I understand his frustration because I get where he said it in the context of the discussion, made it sound like that. But if you just step back and say, there's no way you could think Auburn would be disloyal to him. That guy was a king at Auburn. He had anything he wanted.
More of the discussion is probably between the Neville family and the Cohen family on how to honor Bruce Pearl.
That's right. Do you put his name on the arena? Take our name off, put his name on.
Or do you put it on the court?
Yeah, what do you do?
What do you do? That's where the discussion is. 2 Final Fours. I mean, it speaks for itself.
Yeah.
Good to hear it straight from Bruce, though, because, you know, when I was getting all these messages, I was like, I'm not in his head. I don't know exactly what he meant. So let's ask him what he meant. And so there you go. That's what he meant. Straight from the horse's mouth right there, Bruce Pearl. Quick break here. Final thoughts when we come back on the other side. The show being brought to you by our friends at Champy's Chicken. They bring you this final hour of the show. Great folks right there. Champy's Chicken, Highway 119 in Alabaster. Go by and see Sterling and the crew. Unbelievable folks. Champy's Chicken, champyschicken.com.
I'm attorney Alexander Shannara, Alabama born, Alabama raised, and ready to fight for your rights. I have one of the largest firms in Alabama, and we are here to help you get the compensation you deserve. Call me, Alabama, 323-1000.
Your representation is made that the quality of legal services being performed is greater than those of other lawyers.
Sterling and the fine folks at Champy's Chicken on Highway 119 in Alabaster want to welcome you in for a great lunch or dinner starting at 11 a.m. every day. Chicken that's brined overnight and cooked to order, and the taste of the Delta with those Delta recipe tamales. Champy's is perfect for all your tailgating needs this football season. You can also choose Champy's for your next party, wedding, or birthday. Great food, great people. Champy's Chicken on Highway 119 in Alabaster, and everything online at champyschicken.com.
At Central State Bank, we are large enough to serve you and small enough to know you. Manage your money with ease, whether it's mobile banking, hassle-free checking, competitive loans, business solutions, or personalized financial advice. We're your hometown bank with big-time service. Visit us today and experience banking made simple, because at Central State Bank, you come first.
Member FDIC.
Looking for the ultimate weekend in Birmingham? The Children's of Alabama Indy Grand Prix is back at Barber Motorsports Park, March 27th through 29th, bringing big energy, big crowds, and unforgettable moments. It's more than a race. It's a full day of excitement, family fun, food, music, and world-class competition, all set on one of the most beautiful venues in racing. The Children's of Alabama Indy Grand Prix at Barber Motorsports Park. Get your tickets now.
Catch up on all today's Next Round on demand through the podcast platform of your choice, Apple, Spotify, iHeart, or Google Podcast, wherever you listen. Always like, follow, subscribe, and turn on automatic downloads so you never miss any part of the Next Round. Hey, there's nothing worse than waking up to a plumbing problem. Don't get caught in a flooded house. Call the guys at Hemp Hill Services. Adam, Chad, and the team at Hemp Hill are the only ones I trust to fix it and fix it right the first time. Hemp Hill Services does it right and always at a fair price. For all of your plumbing, cooling, and heating needs, trust the name that Birmingham has trusted since 1954. That is Hemp Hill Services. Call now, 205-229-2090. That's 205-229-2090. Hey, for all of your IT and printing needs, reach out to our friends at Xerox Business Solutions. Look, I'm still one of those old school guys. I print my notes every single day for the show. If you watch the show here on the Next Round, you see all the notes in front of me. From day one, Xerox Business Solutions, they've been with us here at the Next Round. Local for over 45 years. For all of your IT and printing needs, visit XeroxBusinessSolutions.com or call 205-969-3000. That's 205-969-3000.
Remember the name Way to Wellness if you're battling weight loss in your life. I'm Jim Dunaway from the Next Round. There was a time I was over 216 pounds until Way to Wellness helped me lose 45 pounds, and now for over 2 years, they've helped me keep that weight off. Here's their website, aplanforme.com, aplanforme.com. That's a great name for a website because there's no cookie-cutter plan. Everything is designed specifically for you. No contract, no sign-up fees, and your first consultation is free at Way to Wellness.
Ain't no party like a Dega party. The noise, the chaos, the will to survive. The biggest, boldest, brashest, fastest, and most intimidating track in all of NASCAR. Only one place calls that home. At Talladega, anything can happen. And at this super speedway, everything usually does.
Hell yeah, boys!
NASCAR weekend at Talladega Super Speedway, April 24th through the 26th. Get your tickets now at TalladegaSuperspeedway.com.
All right, final thoughts before we get out of here. We're going to push trash, brought to you by friends at Bud Light. Easy to drink, easy to enjoy, until Monday when LT is back. It is LT's trash.
That's right. It's always just a bad copy when one of us tries it.
That's right. That's right.
I mean, LT's the perfecter of it.
But a couple more thoughts on the game tonight before we get out of here. Brought to you by our wonderful friends at Shannara. Don't forget the Shannara Challenge.
Showdown.
The Shannara Showdown. I was getting there.
Sorry, Jim.
Happening right now, nextroundlive.com and all of our social media platforms. Tell us about the Shannara Showdown, and then we're going to hear from Latrell Wrightsell, LeBaron Philon, and Dusty May to wrap up the show here.
All right, so Iowa State, Tennessee is your game tonight. Iowa State is the favorite there. Tennessee, the underdog. You can go play one of those two sides, nextroundlive.com. nextroundlive.com. The great thing about the Shannara Showdown, one bad day in your bracket, you're done in your bracket. Shannara Showdown, you got life every single game day. Tonight, Iowa State, Tennessee. You just make your pick right there, and you are in the drawing if you get it right. The drawing is for grand prize, bottle of Pappy, $1,000 Amex gift card, your choice there. And then we're down to $500 and $250 on the Amex gift cards, paying 4 places. Any right prediction, any right guess, and you are right there in the drawing at the end of the tournament. That's thanks to our guys, Alexander Shinara, the Shinara Showdown right there, nextroundlive.com. And Brooks will always have it out on social media, nextroundlive.com and on social media. Presented by our guy, Alexander Shinara, Shinara.com, Shinara.com. You don't pay a dime unless they win your case with Alexander Shinara.
Let's go Latrell Wrightsell first. Here's a guy that forced into more minutes. Always important, but more minutes with Aden Holloway not being available. Gets asked about being a big underdog to Michigan tonight.
What does it mean to be kind of a massive underdog in this game? How do you guys embrace that?
I mean, we not really like opposed to it. We know that Michigan's a really good team, and they've proven that multiple times throughout the season and stuff like that. So we have the ultimate respect. But we also know what we can do too, and we know that like if we put in the work and we play our best and we play hard and we play for each other and have fun out there, I mean we can compete with anybody in the country. And we know that they have a really good size and they have really good bigs and really good guard play and like they're a full team. But you know, we put in the work to be here too. We lace our shoes the exact same way, so we know we have the talent, we have the coaching staff, we have the game plan, and we have everything we need to be successful as well.
Lace our shoes the same way. I love it. One pants leg at a time, the old saying.
Remember, former Alabama player Namari Burnett used to be on our show with an NIL deal, still playing. Big defender on that team tonight. LeBaron Philon here gets asked about maybe a little extra motivation for Coach Oats. Remember, a high school coach in Michigan. A guy who grew up in the shadows of the Michigan and Michigan State program in his early coaching days. Is there a little extra motivation for Coach Oats? Here's LeBaron Philon.
I mean, you know, Coach Oats, you know, he's just like, he's so into it. I mean, these guys can explain it like, you know, he's just ready. I mean, you know, you can see the look in his eyes, you know, just going through the game plan and the way he's talking about the game. You can tell like he's been, you know, losing sleep and just putting in the extra hours of just like, you know, wanting to win this game. And, like, you know, like I said, like, I see the look in his eyes, so I know, like, you know, he really wants to win this game. So, you know, as a player, that means everything because, you know, just that confidence right there can give you just, like, a little more, you know, of an edge to go make the, you know, plays that we need to make or plays that can, you know, flip the game. And he kind of talked about that, you know, just, like, being ready to play for 40 minutes, I think that's going to be the like special thing for this group to do, you know, in this game. Just be ready to be out there for 40 minutes or even 50 if it go that long. So just putting it all on the line, like I said.
Yeah, you're about as fresh as you're going to be. So, I mean, I would imagine that guy right there, maybe they still, you know, if you get a timeout followed by a media timeout or a dead ball with a media timeout coming up, you may still a few seconds for him on the bench. But I guarantee you that guy right there signs up for 40 tonight.
Aiden Sherrill. Foul trouble. How many minutes can he play? We've seen him play 38 minutes in one game earlier this year. They're going to need him for 38 tonight. Need him to stay out of foul trouble. That'd be really, really huge. But I'll tell you what, man. If they were somehow win this game tonight, LeBaron Philon's legacy at Alabama. And he's already done a lot getting him to the Sweet 16, coming back and getting him to the Sweet 16.
But, I mean, I think Brandon Miller's probably the best individual player, at least in my lifetime, to play at Alabama. That guy's probably second. But his legacy, if he can win tonight, because if you win tonight, what keeps you out of the Final Four? I mean, Iowa State or Tennessee would be a tough matchup. Tennessee's always a tough matchup for Alabama. But, I mean, listen, Mark Sears' legacy is tremendous. But you make it to the Final Four, you've got a legacy of your own now if you're LeBaron Philon.
I mean, this sort of had become his team down the stretch, but all of a sudden, in the tournament here, it's almost Houston Millette and Latrell Wrightsell, the two seniors teams.
Yeah, I mean, they know the next buzzer is potentially their last one.
Yeah. The other side of the bench, Dusty May, who some consider the best in the business right now. considering what he did at Florida Atlantic and what he's doing at Michigan.
It's hard to argue.
I mean, Dan Hurley, you can start naming them all, but he's considered to be one of the best, if not the best in the business right now. Gets asked about coaching against Nate Oats, and here's what Dusty had to say.
Would you say it's more challenging or easier coaching and going against a coach that you're very familiar with?
Both. It's more challenging because they're such elite ball coaches, but it's more fun because you're familiar. Like I said, I go to Nate's basketball conference. I've known him for 20 years. I've probably watched his teams play 500 games total. If they're on TV and I'm not doing anything, I watch his teams play because I'm going to learn something. And we have mutual friends that send out these edits and clips and new ideas. And so I watch something and say, oh, wow, they took that concept from Barcelona and really made it their own, and they're executing better than that team did. So it's a challenge, but I enjoy it because I know we're going to be better coaches because of this. I think he's one of the best coaches on the planet, regardless of league level affiliation, and so it's an honor to share the same sideline with a guy that does his job as well as Nate does.
That's a heck of an answer.
Did you hear that?
That is crazy. Nate Oats' agent couldn't have written that better than what Dusty May just said.
Did you hear that right there?
I did. Yeah.
I probably have watched 500 games that Nate Oats has coached.
I don't doubt it. I'm sure Nate Oats has watched a ton of his. That's what these guys do, man. They are basketball as long as they're awake.
When I have nothing to do, I watch, and they're playing. I sit down and watch. A guy who
rarely does he have nothing to do, though. To be fair,
he sits down and watches them. They send out clips. Yeah, they send out clips, and they take something from Barcelona and they're doing it better than they do it.
Yeah,
that is high praise.
No,
right there,
again, Nate Oats' agent could not have written better than what Dusty May just said.
Yeah, save that clip. Wherever we save clips up here, I should know that after 5 years.
In the clip folder.
Yeah, wherever we save clips forever, save that clip right there. We want to bring that back at some point. All right, busy show. Thanks for being with us today. Don't forget, we got a specialty show from out at the Indy Racing at Barber Motorsports coming up in about 90 minutes to 2 hours.
Set your alerts.
Sort of around 2 o'clock, but set your alerts for that. And then we're back with you on Monday. Don't forget to follow everything social media at Next Round Live. Brooks and Forrester and Tyler will be sending stuff out from the post-game tonight and everything throughout the weekend. It should be a lot of fun. Until next time, God bless you and God bless America.